Hey there everyone, this is Michael with all 12 readings for all Zodiac signs for the month of March 2021. Hello and welcome. Before we dive in here today, I just want to thank all of you who have supported this channel with your likes, shares, comments, and subscribes. All of that love helps this channel continue to grow and allows me to keep putting out these messages and doing this incredible work. So thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. I do just want to let you all know my links are in the description box if you're looking for a personal reading or Reiki session with me. I also have all of my social media links. I've been posting bi-monthly on Instagram readings for the full and new moon, so if you're interested in those, you can check that out as well and follow me on there too. I post all of my announcements on all of my platforms, so if you want to make sure that you stay on my radar and you don't miss out on any sales or any giveaways or anything like that, it's just a good way to stay in the know. I do have all of the timestamps for each of the 12 signs linked down below if you want to just jump straight ahead at this point. But I do just want to let you know that March is honestly one of the best months I have seen astrologically in quite some time. I'm very curious to see what each of these readings have in store for you. But to be honest, March is just looking like a month of tremendous and profound healing. I know February was a very challenging month for a lot of people. We had Mercury retrograde, we had all of the planets moving through Aquarius squaring against Uranus in Taurus, and it really was shaking up our sense of stability. And I think a lot of people wanted to kind of break free and they were just feeling really stuck and unable to move forward, even though there was that strong desire. And now it feels like with March, there's going to be a lot of cleansing and a lot of healing. And we are technically still in the post-shadow phase of Mercury retrograde in the first part of the month, so it might start off a little bit slow. But that's not to say that Mercury is retrograde. Mercury is already direct. It went direct, I want to say, on the 20th of February. And we actually don't have a retrograde until May. So we have a couple of months now where we actually are just moving forward. And part of this moving forward process is going to be healing, letting things go, putting things to rest, moving on. That's actually what this Pisces energy is really helping us do this month, which is just so incredible. And again, we have all of these lovely aspects and conjunctions. Mercury is conjuncting with Jupiter right at the beginning of the month, creating all of these new ideas, these new information, just this expansion of the mind and helping us communicate and speak clearly. And we do also have Venus conjunct Neptune towards the middle of the month on the 13th. And that's going to be bringing a lot of healing as well and a lot of love. And that actually happens on the Pisces new moon. So that's going to be a really beautiful one. And we'll kind of talk about how that's going to affect each of you in just a moment. And we do end off the month with a full moon in Aries. I want to say that is the 27th, and that's really going to be a time to get things moving, to start new projects, to just really start off the astrological new year, so to speak. There really is just so much beauty with this month. I actually don't have an astrology blog at the time I was recording this. I just have the aspects and transits. If you do want to reference that, you are more than welcome. The link is still down below, as it usually is. I just didn't write up for this month, honestly, because I ran out of time for February. But also, I really prioritize the months that I think are going to be challenging because I want to give tips and techniques for people when I kind of think that a month is going to be particularly nasty or have some hard lessons. I just don't really see that for March. If there is one thing to look out for, honestly, it would just be don't get too stuck in your story. With Pisces, it can kind of make us a little bit delusional. It can make us kind of think that we know what's going on, or it can kind of make us feel like everything is fine, a little disconnected and maybe detached from reality a little bit. That could be something to look out for. And I guess if I were really looking for things to be mindful of, with all the planets moving through Pisces, they're going to be squaring the nodes. So the North Node in Gemini and the South Node in Sagittarius, the nodes represent where we were with the South Node. The North Node is representing where we want to go, where we're reaching for. We are kind of just in this in-between, so maybe that's something to kind of think of Pisces, or this Pisces season. It's a season of transition, but honestly, I think it's really, really powerful and profound. So I hope you're looking forward to all of that. And I think that's everything. Without further ado, let's look at each of these readings. Again, the timestamps are linked down below. You are welcome to look for your moon, rising, sun, or Venus sign. Hey Aries, this is Michael with your general reading for March 2021. I do hope that this video finds you well and in good spirits. I want to wish you all a happy birthday to all my Aries sun people out there who have a solar return coming up at the end of this month. I know for a lot of people, the solar return tends to be a time of reflection, looking back on the year prior, taking stock of things moving forward. There we go. But it can be really kind of a spiritual time, a time of reflection. And I do feel like for a lot of you, the month is also going to feel a little frustrating at first, just to be totally honest. I know I was talking about in the intro how this is such a great month, but for you specifically, Aries, your ruling planet Mars is going to be in the sign of Gemini. And so you're going to have all of this energy. You're going to want to move forward, or you're going to feel like you're kind of going back and forth on things. And that's because your ruling planet is going to be very influenced by this kind of dualistic energy of Gemini. And you might feel like one minute you have all the energy in the world, and the next minute you feel like you need to sleep for 12 hours or something like that. You might have an interest in one thing only to have some other thing pop up into your awareness the next moment. It can be kind of a scattered energy, and that might be how you're feeling throughout the month. It's like you have all of this kind of energy that you want to work with, but you don't have the means to do that all the time. But I do want to say, with this Pisces energy, there is so much healing, especially for you in your subconscious. Looking at your old belief systems, I think, is going to be super, super important for you. And really seeing kind of your shadow beliefs, the things you're not aware of in yourself, or kind of the beliefs or dynamics that are playing out in the background of your life that you're not even aware of. It really is a time to kind of illuminate all of that for you, Aries. I actually have some cards here on the table already. We have the Mother of Pentacles showing up in the past here, or the Queen of Pentacles. The High Priestess as this lesson or energy that you have been learning about in the past several months. The Seven of Swords. And the Three of Pentacles here showing up as a change or challenge. So I do want to say, with the Seven of Swords, some of you are coming into this month with the sense of distrust, or you are really trying to read between the lines on something or feel between the lines. I actually feel like your intuition is very, very strong. Sometimes when I see a Seven of Swords, it does tell me there could be something happening behind the scenes that you're not quite aware of. But to be honest with you, Aries, I think you're well aware of any sort of anything that could be problematic to you. Maybe there is something with an earth sign that is happening here. So this could be Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo. You're seeing some sort of dynamic, or there's something going on behind the scenes that doesn't feel quite right to you, and you are aware of it. You need to trust your intuition. Even if you don't necessarily have evidence or things that are really popping out at you directly, your intuition is trying to alert you of something. This could also be a work situation as well, with the Three of Pentacles, and even with the Mother of Pentacles as well. This could be someone that you are working with. It could also be a family member or a friend, someone you are very close to and kind of share some sort of responsibility with, that sort of thing. There could be something here that needs to be addressed. And I'm actually seeing that with the Judgment card kind of at the bottom of the deck. I was talking about how this was a month of really bringing about a lot of healing. And I'm actually picking up for Aries, for a lot of you, this is a message that's pertaining to an energy that's been in your life for quite some time. This doesn't just feel like it was happening in the past couple of months. It doesn't feel like this is something new that is happening in March, at least for the majority of you. This actually feels like old dynamics that are finally getting addressed. And if you feel someone wasn't totally honest with you from the past, I do think you are going to be getting some clarity, or someone's going to be opening up. But again, the Judgment card is all about healing. So I don't feel like this is old wounds being ripped open. This actually does feel a lot like things finally being addressed and finally being healed. Let's take a little closer look here. Yeah, I do feel like there is something about money, or feeling left out in the cold with the 5 of Pentacles here. Some of you may feel like you've taken on all the responsibility for yourself. And this is a general reading, so this message isn't going to apply to all of you, but I feel like someone out there, or several of you out there, are dealing with someone who has been kind of making excuses for why they can't contribute or help with something, or why they can't put the same amount of effort in something that you have been. But you feel like it's not totally truthful, or you're aware it's not totally truthful. And you're finally addressing this with the Judgment card. I will say too, Aries, this is actually a really great month for you to network and make new connections. If you are looking for a new job, or you're trying to start a new career, you do have Mercury and Jupiter coming together, conjuncting together in the sign of Aquarius, your 11th house, your house of networking, social support, ideals, dreams. There is fertile ground that you're on. Whatever it is that you've been dealing with that's been kind of slow, or someone hasn't been cooperating with you, things just haven't been going the way you had hoped, I do feel like things are finally shifting with the Empress card and the 3 of Pentacles. Things will pay off here. This could also be dealing with a Libra or a Taurus individual. But you need to trust your intuition. And you need to you need to look at the past and kind of the situations you've been in the past when taking on new people into your life, especially if you're working on some sort of project or trying to start a new relationship with someone. You've seen red flags before that might be coming up again with some of these people. And it's important that you are paying attention to them. But to be honest, I do feel like for a lot of you, this actually is about finances, which is interesting, or money, or work. Kind of that earth element. Could be family. It definitely could be family. And it's like you're looking for help in a new place, or you're looking for a connection in a different person or a different setting. And you just need to be selective. There are people who are coming in who are going to be really good for you. They're going to help you get places this month, if you're open to that, Aries, especially if you're an Aries rising. And it really is a good time to look at all of your old patterns. If you are looking for love, or looking for a relationship, or trying to improve a connection, there's a lot of things about your subconscious that are going to actually be really obvious this month. Maybe dynamics you are reincarnating in your partnerships. They could be from your childhood, or they could be from past relationships. Although very often even those past relationships have to do with our childhood as well. And those unmet needs. But again, I will just say this, Aries, you have a lot of beautiful energy coming at you by the end of this month. And the Two of Cups. Yeah, someone who's actually on your level. This could actually be indicating a relationship for some of you. Or it could just be someone who is coming into your life, matching your energy, matching your effort. And I do feel like there is a heart-to-heart that needs to happen for a lot of you this month. And that Two of Cups often represents two people kind of exposing themselves to one another. So be willing to be open. And I think a lot of healing can actually come from that. So I will pull an animal card for you now, just to kind of wrap up this reading and get an energy for you to sort of embody. But to be honest, Aries, I'm looking forward to hearing how this is landing for you, because it seems like there is this love that's coming in, or this this connection that is going to help you move forward in your life. But you are going to be a bit tested, and you need to practice your discernment here. What is the animal wisdom for Aries? Camel. Yeah, so this is about finding healing within. Finding balance with water and fire. Camel is able to survive the heat of the desert, drawing from this wellspring within it. You've been going through kind of a challenging period by yourself. A lot of you have. Or if you've been in a situation with another person, whether this is a relationship, again, or a work situation, there's been a lot of responsibility that you've taken on. But I do feel like something is shifting for you this month. And with this Camel card, it's also like making use of what you have right now and having the faith that something better is coming or more is coming. There's definitely a blessing that is coming for you. If not at the end of the month, then shortly after. And if you are feeling drained, I think it's important that you are meditating or connecting to your spirit. And I know a lot of you want things to happen very, very quickly. You kind of have to play a long game this month with Camel. You have to kind of do bigger picture thinking, looking at your long-term plans. It might not be as quick pace or fast pace as you normally like it to be. I mean, I know this whole year has been slow, frankly, but I do think it's going to pick up. But you need to be conservative with your energy. Don't burn through all of it at once. And you're going to see your oasis here. You're almost there. And those are all the messages I have for you, Aries. I do hope that this was helpful. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. All of my links are down below if you're looking for a personal reading, Reiki session, or feel called to make a donation. I appreciate any support that you'd like to do for this channel. Of course, hit like and subscribe. And I do also have the timestamps down below if you'd like to look at your moon, rising, or Venus sign. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care, Aries, and have a happy March. Hey Taurus, this is Michael with your general reading for March 2021. I do hope that this is finding you well and in good spirits, and maybe it's not. I have some good news for you. March is actually looking like a fantastic month. I was kind of talking about this in the intro, but for you specifically, Taurus, this is actually like one of the best months for you in specific. So really excited for all of my Taurus out there. I'm super curious to see what we have in store for you. As I'm just doing a little bit of shuffling here, I kind of want to explain the astrology of why this month is going to be so incredible for you. Your ruling planet Venus is going to be, or I should say already is, in the sign of Pisces by the start of this month. And we actually have a conjunction between Venus and Neptune on the 13th, the same exact day as this Pisces new moon. For the entire collective, this is a really powerful placement for healing, especially healing the subconscious. But for you in particular, Pisces actually rules what is known as your 11th house, which is the house of social networking, manifestations, hopes, wishes. So it's a really, really powerful time for you to set your intentions with the universe and to manifest new blessings into your life. It is the only master number in the house system, that 11, that repeating number, that 1-1. And those numbers are very, very powerful vibrationally. So for you, Taurus, you have a lot of ability to create blessings and miracles in the month of March. And again, I've been saying kind of since the intro of this video, and I'll be saying this for all of the signs, March is going to be a really good month for a lot of people. At least the astrology is looking like that so far, and that's kind of what it seems like. There's this turning here, this turning into a new chapter. So the cards we have on the table, we have the Three of Swords showing up in the past. Things really do feel like it's been kind of hard for you, Taurus. And there may have been some heartbreak or a sense of betrayal from the past, especially if there was an earth sign with this Page of Pentacles or Daughter of Pentacles. This could have been someone who is younger or immature, still had a lot to learn about something, maybe making promises they couldn't quite keep. That's sort of coming through for me. I do feel like whatever this heartache was, however, there's a lot of healing that you are going through. I'm actually getting kind of a message for love, interestingly. Because I feel like for a lot of you watching this, there was a relationship or some sort of connection that really was hurtful for you. And it feels like it's been challenging for you to open up since. And if this isn't a love relationship, this could also just be a family member. It could be a friend. Something about trust has been hurt. And I think you are in the process of healing your trust. You have been spending a lot of time on creating stability for yourself, Taurus. And maybe you've been learning some new things yourself with this Page of Pentacles. You might have been learning how to be more stable for yourself, or how to find stability in all of these uncertain times. And that's actually helpful for you moving forward. You have a lot of abundance, by the way. I'm just peeking ahead. If you're feeling like things have been just kind of tight financially, or things have just felt kind of uncertain, I think there is going to be a moment of truth here for you this month with the Judgment card. And the challenge is that you need to trust your intuition with the High Priestess. And what I love about this reading, Taurus, is with this Judgment card, it's like there's this ascension that's going on for you this month. And it might feel a little challenging at first, or a little daunting. You might feel like at the start of this month, you're not ready for something. You might be feeling a little unsure of yourself. And you've kind of been behind the scenes in your life. A lot of you have. That's the message I'm getting. And it's actually, there is something that's going to be changing, and you kind of know this already intuitively. You might be doubting it this month, but you're becoming the Empress by the end of March. And this is the perfect card for you because this actually is one of your cards, Taurus. And it represents stability. It represents creativity as well. And this openness to love. Again, this is really, really important. There is so much healing that is happening for you. There's a major shift. When you have judgment in the middle of your reading, something big is happening this month, but it's helping you rise above. It's almost like you're coming up like Phoenix from the ashes. Let's kind of clarify some of this a little more. And then we're going to pull an animal card for you. But again, this new moon on the 13th, this is really, really powerful for you, Taurus. This is such an incredible time for you to get back in touch with your calling in life, with the Judgment card. And if there's just this big thing that you've been wanting to do, I feel like you're making steps towards it this month, or even starting something this month. I actually want to clarify this High Priestess. This High Priestess, show me clearly. Why is the High Priestess on the table? The Ten of Wands. Something definitely feels blocked off. You might feel blocked off to your own intuition, which is kind of interesting because we are in Pisces season. But it's almost like you've kept it blocked, Taurus. Have you been keeping yourself busy? Have you been trying to ignore the voice in you that's been telling you you need to step up or you need to do something new? There might already be a lot going on in your life, and it feels incredibly daunting to do something new, to add something different into the mix. I'm actually getting music for some of you. That's interesting. I don't know if some of you are doing something with music, or if there's just like some song or sound that is really powerful for you this month. The Father of Swords. Let me actually clarify this. Why is the Father of Swords here? This is Aquarian energy, could also be Gemini or Libra. Okay, so there is a bit of a conflict here with this character. Someone might have said some very sharp words to you, or there might have been a very sharp exchange. There might be some conflict with somebody, and maybe that's why you've been guarded. This could be from the past. But I think, Taurus, whatever the situations are that you find yourself in this month, you're coming in it from this bigger energy as this Father of Swords. You're being more strategic, more measured in your approach, and maybe things just feel really chaotic, and you're kind of making sense of the chaos here. And I think once you do that, I'm feeling a lot of you are going to be more open to your intuition again. Things are going to be much clearer for you. It's like you're literally buried in an environment or in stuff. Like there's so much stuff around you. Some of you might actually be clearing out your space, which is interesting. And I know that this whole year has been, or is going to be really about you changing your sense of self and really shaking things up, really stepping out of your comfort zone. Because we have Uranus in your sign. We also have Saturn and Jupiter in the sign of Aquarius. They are squaring off with Uranus in your sign. And especially Saturn, has been creating a lot of tension over the past month. February was a really challenging month for a lot of people. I'm honestly not surprised to see that it was a bit painful, or there was something that came up that felt very painful for you. But we do have this Mercury-Jupiter conjunction at the beginning of the month as well. I want to say that's on the 4th, and that is in the sign of Aquarius. This is bringing new ideas, new insights, new plans that can actually create something grander for yourself. And for you, this is actually talking about career. Some of you, again, you might be really thinking about career stuff or making changes in your career. And this moon card was at the bottom of the deck before and wanted to fall out. This is also the Pisces card. A lot of you feel like you're kind of wandering in the dark. You're trying to make sense of things with this Father of Swords and trying to be strategic. But to be honest, Taurus, I almost think you're being called to move through uncertainty. You're not going to know if something is going to be successful until you do it. You're not going to know if a relationship is right until you open yourself up a little more. Whatever it is that you're blocking your heart from moving forward in, I think there actually is a lot of beauty and abundance in that with the Empress card. But it is going to take you answering this calling. And don't tell yourself the story that you're not ready. Maybe you weren't. Maybe you weren't before, but I feel like something is shifting this month. So let's pull an animal card for you. Show me clearly, please. What is the animal wisdom for Taurus? The bear. Beautiful. A perfect card for springtime, which is happening in the northern hemisphere. We actually do have the spring equinox this month. Bear does represent an awakening, something that is kind of slow and groggy. You know, this new beginning. There is a lot of fertility here with the earth element again, and the potential for a lot of stability, but it does require some effort. And when that bear comes out of hibernation, it can feel very slow, and it can feel like not a very fast pace, which honestly, Taurus, you do pretty well with. You're pretty good at pacing yourself usually until you get too stubborn with something. But there is something that is going to require you to put some amount of dedication in at first. It's going to be harder. Those first movements are really going to be hard for you. It's almost like getting out of bed on a cold day, where you don't want to get out of the covers. It's nice and warm there, but you have to start your morning. You have to get moving, and once you do that, once you get the blood flowing, things feel easier. Maybe drink your cup of coffee or tea or whatever it is you do. That's almost the energy I'm getting for you, Taurus. You're overthinking things, and that might be because you were hurt in the past or disappointed. But I would say keep going. It's going to feel a little choppy at first, whatever moving forward means for you. The cosmic egg. Yeah, there is this spiritual awakening. Some of you really do have this big spiritual calling. And I actually do feel that for some of you watching this, you are supposed to be working with your intuition more, maybe working as healers or intuitives yourself. And I think you are doubting this. You don't feel like you're skilled enough, or you don't feel like you don't feel enough at the start of this month for this thing that you're going to be called to do. And you're always going to be growing, Taurus. You're always going to be expanding. And don't let that be a reason to not do something, at least this month. I want to pull one more animal card here for you. And again, if you have self-worth issues or anything like that, This is a really good month to heal that too. And we are kind of creeping into your birthday season as well, for those of you who are Taurus Sun. And usually that month before your birthday is a time of reflection. It is a time of taking stock of the past year and then moving forward. And it's funny, you have the oyster, you have this pearl inside you, you have a gift, you are clamming up, okay? I knew this was a card for you, I knew this was a message for you. You have this gift inside of you and you don't even know what it looks like yet because you've been too afraid to show it to the world. For some of you, this is music. I was getting this thing with the throat. I know we got the crown chakra with the cosmic egg. There's just this spiritual calling. For some of you, this is a musical thing. For others of you, this is a spiritual thing. Whatever it is, though, whatever this spiritual calling is for you, it doesn't really matter. You have the gift. You already have something that you need to give the world. And those are all the messages I have for you right now, Taurus. I do hope that this was helpful. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. All of my links for personal readings and Reiki sessions are in the description box down below. If you'd like to look at some of the other readings, you can look at the timestamps and skip to those. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care, Taurus, and have a happy March. Hey Gemini, this is Michael with your March 2021 reading. I do hope that this finds you well. You have made it through Mercury retrograde. We are going to be in the post-shadow phase for just a few more days until March 5th, I believe. And that post-shadow phase really is just kind of catching up. The Mercury retrograde for the past month, it was a pretty challenging one, and I think especially for you, being ruled by Mercury, you really felt it. There might have been a lot of things that came up with old relationships, people you have dated in the past, with all of this fifth house energy. There was also a focus on making your passions into something more, maybe building a career out of that. That's actually something I think that's going to be thematic for you this month quite a bit. But I feel like, Gemini, to be honest, there was a lot of things that came up to the surface last month that needed to be healed. Maybe some negative beliefs about yourself or about others. Maybe that's like your relationship style, something like that. I think there's actually just going to be a lot of healing for you. And I have been saying for the other signs, and I said at the intro, March is really an incredible month for healing, honestly. And you are actually starting off with quite a high note, because we are starting off this month with, oh my goodness, it's the Mercury-Jupiter conjunction. There we go, in the sign of Aquarius, and that's going to be happening on the 4th or 5th of March. You can look in the astrology blog down below if you want like the specific dates. It's not necessarily like on that day things are going to like happen, but it's around that time. There is going to be this focus on new ideas coming for you, new inspiration. And, you know, Jupiter is a very benefic planet is what it's called. It's very benevolent. It gives us lots of blessings. And that is going to be right on top of your ruling planet, Mercury. So there is going to be quite a big boost for you right at the start of this month, which is quite lovely. And with this Pisces season, there is a lot of emphasis, again, on your career, your 10th house, your midheaven. And we do have a Pisces new moon that is going to be in the middle of the month on the 13th. What's so special about this one is that it's also going to be when Venus and Neptune conjoin. And this is going to bring a lot of healing this month and a lot of beauty. And some of you may really feel like there's just all of this creativity if you want to work in the arts, or if you do work in the arts, you work in something creative. There could also be a lot of intuition or a lot of healing type of modalities that you're working with this month. And I think some of you are actually trying to make that into a career, if I'm not mistaken, or you're interested in doing something like that. which I actually pulled for Taurus as well. I do feel like with this month, I am getting something, again, with music, which is interesting. I did get this with Taurus as well. So if you have Taurus placements, you might also want to take a look at the Taurus reading. There might be something there for you. I was getting something with music, which is interesting. I don't know if that's the thing you're interested in doing. But yeah, check out that Taurus reading if you have Taurus placements and you're interested in music or this spiritual work. But the cards that came out for you so far, we have the Two of Cups with the Four of Cups and the Nine of Swords. All three of these came out together. I'm going to be honest with you, Gemini. I feel like there's either someone you connected with and there was a rejection, or you didn't reach out to someone because there's this fear of rejection. A lot of you are afraid of being rejected by someone, and if it's not a person or a romantic situation, it could be for your talents, it could be for your gifts, it might not be romantic at all, but I actually am getting this as sort of energy coming into this month. This might have already happened in February. I feel like some of you might have had some sort of anxiety about relationships or about a connection. And there is a lot of things that feel up in the air. With this Two of Pentacles, there is this shift going on. Some of you might still be deciding, do I express myself to this person? What are they thinking of me? I'm not gonna lie, Gemini, your energy did feel a little heavy, so I'm not super surprised pulling these cards. But again, we're just looking at the first half of the month right now. We do have the Knight of Swords that came out for you, and this is actually one of your cards, one of your signifiers. It could also be other air energy, so Libra or Aquarius, but I actually feel like this is you. And this did show up in the reverse. And what I'm kind of feeling, Gemini, is there is something that is preventing you from moving forward or being your usual self. Something is kind of up in the air, you're weighing something. You want to be able to move forward. But there's like this fear of rejection or this fear of being vulnerable, I actually think is the better description of this energy. Because I feel like for some of you that, yes, this is talking about relationships, and there's also those of you where this is relevant in your career. It's like there's this overwhelming theme or overall theme of being afraid to speak, express yourself, put yourself out there. Let's pull an animal card here. What is the animal wisdom for Gemini? Show me clearly. Whoops. Interesting, the hyena came out here. And why I say that this is interesting, because the hyena energy can kind of be someone who underestimates themselves and uses humor as a mask. They don't take their own dreams seriously. Let's pull another one here, but I think some of you really need to take something more seriously. Some of you are kind of not pursuing something, or maybe someone, and you're sort of laughing about it to yourself. It's almost like you're using humor to prevent yourself from doing something, or kind of almost this forced optimism or forced happiness, like pretending, that sort of like hyena laugh. Is there anything else for Gemini for the first half of the month? Yeah, the moth. Interesting. So I'm getting two very different messages with this card, and you're just going to have to use your own discernment to figure out which applies to you. But I actually think that they're kind of one and the same at the same time. Because when we have the moth, I think a lot of people think of like moth to the flame, being drawn to something that can be destructive. I feel like in the past, you might have had this tendency to be drawn to things that weren't good for you or weren't meant for you. But there is still this transformation that you're supposed to be doing. You have gained insight. You have gained discernment from the past. And you won't be hurt the same way you were before, because you have more awareness than you did then. And what's interesting about the moths too, the reason they're actually drawn to fire is because they evolved to actually navigate using stars and starlight. And some of you are having a hard time following your destiny, following the stars. And again, when I see the moth, it does make me think of kind of like Dark Night of the Soul. It feels like it's been a hard month for you coming into March. And I feel like there's kind of this moment for you to catch your breath, to sort of heal, to recenter, and honestly transform with the hyena, or I'm sorry, with the moth here. I also think of hyena as like settling for less, settling for scraps, kind of being the scavenger. And maybe that's what you've been doing. You've been afraid to want something really big. Whether that's in your job, your career, or a relationship. Whatever it is that is weighing on your heart the most, it's almost like you've tried to make yourself okay with not having something without trying to get it. And I will be honest, the first part of this month might be a little slow. Again, Mercury is still in the post-shadow phase. It might be a slow start. Interesting. So we had the Lovers come out. This did come out in reverse. I don't really read reversals, but this is your card, Gemini. There is something about rejection, and to be honest, I can't even tell if it's like someone is rejecting you or you're afraid of being rejected. It's almost like it doesn't even matter, because it's what you make the rejection mean. That's really interesting. And some of you, yeah, this is literally what I've been talking about. The Queen of Swords is often a character who is guarding their heart after some sort of life change, like a divorce or separation or death. This fear of being open. If this doesn't sound like you, it is possible that this is somebody else. This could be an energy that you are dealing with, Gemini. But I really want you to consider how you might be afraid of the things you actually want deep down. Because even if it is somebody else, why are you attracting a person who is unavailable to you? It's always a mirror. And maybe this is just a pattern or dynamic you keep finding yourself in. Ten of Wands in reverse. You're letting go of a burden. You're carrying too much from the past. And maybe that's because of something someone said to you, maybe another air sign, or it could just be someone who had some sharp words or criticism to you. Let's kind of clarify this a little more. I really want to see what this Lovers card is about. You've showed up in your reading twice. I want to say, like, this month really is focused a lot on you at this point. And so that's why, even if there is like another situation with another person or a connection, it's not actually about them this month, which is interesting. And that makes sense, especially as we are moving into Aries season towards the end of the month. This really is focused on routine, your habits, taking care of yourself, setting yourself up for success. Is going to kind of be the second half of this month, especially with the full moon in Aries on oh my gosh, when is it? It's the 27th. Interesting. The sun. But it's like you're not seeing the sun clearly. You're not seeing the blessings that are coming in for you because there's too much you're still holding on to. You're still holding on to things from the past. There's a lot of beauty that's trying to come into your life this month, Gemini. And I gotta be honest, you might not receive it if you hold on to these negative self-beliefs. Something needs to change. You need to transform something here with this moth energy. And oh my gosh, I just realized, I'm so sorry. It's not your sixth house that is being lit up. It's your 10th house. It is your career, right? Yeah, with Pisces. Okay. Sorry about that. And it is about you being willing to reach out. That's going to be really, really important for you. And again, this might not be romantic. I actually think for a lot of you it's asking for help. Some of you are afraid to ask for help because you're afraid of looking weak or incapable. You're taking on a lot of burden yourself, trying to prove something to yourself, trying to make yourself feel okay with where you're at. But I actually feel like, Gemini, if you just reached out and kind of let go of this fear of rejection and being misunderstood by people who aren't meant to get you, I think there would be a ton of healing with the Sun card here. This is all about healing. Almost knocked over my tea there. Let's pull one more animal card for you as we kind of wrap this up. And I think I will pull a color healing card for you as well. Hawk. Yeah, something is about to change. You're gaining new perspectives on things with Hawk, or you're being invited to do that this month. Some of you could be getting a message or an opportunity and you might not even notice it, or you might not even take it seriously because it seems too good to be true. But I do feel like there is a shift that's going to be happening this month. You are going to be spreading your wings, or starting to do that by the end of March. Let's pull a color healing card for you. Yeah, I feel like you really need to rewrite a story, like a personal story, a narrative you've been telling yourself. You might have lost sight of a bigger picture, and you're regaining that this month. That's what your healing looks like, seeing the forest instead of the trees. Or seeing both, seeing it all, seeing all these perspectives, because Hawk actually does have this incredible vision where it's not only able to see from a higher perspective, it is actually able to hone in on things as well. It's like you understand the part and the whole, You're seeing things very, very clearly by the end of the month. I'm going to keep shuffling. What is the healing color for Gemini? Show me clearly. I did see, yeah, this bronze card did flash out at me for a moment. And I don't think this is your healing card, but I'm seeing this breastplate and it's like you're guarding your heart. But it's actually causing you more pain. So what is the healing color for Gemini? Show me clearly, please. What is the healing frequency for Gemini for the month of March? What is the healing color for Gemini for the month of March? Show me clearly, please. Show me clearly. I apologize if this takes a moment. These cards are quite bulky, so sometimes it takes a minute for something to pop out. That's too many. I'm just going to shuffle here, and I'm going to pull. What is the healing color for Gemini? Show me clearly, please. What is the healing color for Gemini? Show me clearly, please. It is this one. Okay. Wow, blue. Activate your healing power. Yeah, so there's clearly a lot of healing that's going on here. And I think also finding soothing with this blue color, working with your throat chakra. We were talking about that before. Being afraid to express yourself or make yourself too vulnerable. Speaking your truth. Let's just read from the booklet here and see what this suggests. But you're welcome to use this blue color in whatever way feels right for you. So blue activates your healing powers, increases vitality, and has a calming effect when people feel nervous, manic, or overexcited. It also contains antiseptic qualities that heal burns, stops bleeding, and relieves fevers. Blue can even increase your metabolism. Use the blue sword of light to assist you in healing your body. Imagine you have a blue sword of light. At the tip of the sword, there is a blue star, which has incredible healing power. When the star touches any area that is sick, it dissolves the sickness out of your body. Use the blue sword of light to relieve fevers, stop bleeding, heal burns, and clear skin problems. Say, Divine Sword of Light, heal, purify, and regenerate this area. Repeat this several times for about 2 minutes until you feel better. And so kind of using this blue frequency as well, it's not just for physical healing. If there is like an emotional burn that you are feeling or something like that, like emotional wounds, you can use this blue color certainly for that as well. Some of you might be dealing with some health stuff as well. This blue color could be really helpful for you too. I do hope that this color healing card was helpful for you, Gemini. I am wishing you all the best. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. Let me know in the comment section down below what's going on for you. What is this thing that you're afraid to admit that you want? What is this thing that you are claiming? Claim it now in the comment section down below. I do have all of my links for personal readings and Reiki sessions as well. And of course, if you want to take a look at one of the other videos, you are welcome to look at the timestamps for your moon, rising, or Venus sign. And I will see you all next time. Take care, Gemini, and have a happy March. Hey Cancer, this is Michael with your general reading for March 2021. I do hope that this finds you well and in good spirits. We have made it through February. I know it was a hard month for a lot of people. The astrology was pretty harsh, to be honest, but as I was saying in the intro, March is actually looking like a really, really great month. And for you in particular, Cancer, this is going to be a very spiritual month. There's a lot of spiritual healing that is going to be happening, which I'm really, really excited to hear and learn more about for you. I do feel like with the new moon we have in Cancer on the 13th, this in particular is going to be very powerful and replenishing for you. and for the whole collective. But because you are a fellow water sign, this is happening in your 9th house. There is this sort of spiritual shift or breakthrough that you're having, or just this idea that is changing things for you. It's like your whole reality is kind of shifting around you, which is really, really interesting. I will also say, if you're looking to maybe travel abroad, I know a lot of people have been missing that. It could be a good time to start manifesting that now, even if that's not something that happens right away. But honestly, I feel like there's just this spiritual journey that is happening for you this month that is going to be really profound and beautiful. The first 3 cards that we have falling out for you, we have the Strength card, the 8 of Wands, and the Knight of Swords. So I feel like you've been putting in hard work towards something, and you've been putting a lot of your focus in on it. You've been working very, very hard. And I feel like, Cancer, something is going to be paying off for you this month. Kind of looking ahead to the full moon at the end of the month with Aries, or I'm sorry, the Aries full moon. That is your midheaven, that is your career. If you've been working hard for something like a promotion or a raise, or maybe even a new job, there could actually be something that happens that shifts for you this month, something that is finally paying off. I feel like you've definitely been putting in some sort of effort or trying to manifest something new for yourself if you haven't been able to do that in the physical. And you really have been tested. I have to be honest with the Strength card, but you showed up to the test. You did what you needed to do. You weren't the devouring, ferocious lion. You were patient. You were one with your emotions. You sat with it. And now something is happening that is helping you move forward this month, and that's beautiful. I do feel like I was kind of getting this with the 2 of Swords and the Knight of Wands. Some of you still want things to be going faster than they've been going. You might be getting a little antsy or a little bit restless. I feel like something that was delayed is going to be coming still, and that might even be for March. Maybe something was delayed in the past and something is going to be happening now. I'm still getting this sense of delay though, and that's kind of in your energy for the first part of this month. Maybe this happened during Mercury retrograde last month. Let me know in the comment section down below what this delay is. But I feel like you've still been putting in steady effort. You've still been trying to make things happen. What else do we have for Cancer? And I am focusing a lot on these moons because you are ruled by the moon. So whatever the moon is doing, those new and full moons are very, very important for you in the month. Obviously, the moon changes signs every couple of days, or maybe that's not obvious, but if you don't know about astrology, the moon is changing signs like every 2 days. So your ruling planet or your ruling luminary is doing a lot each month, and you're shifting a lot. So that's why those new and full moons have the most impact on kind of the month you're gonna have. And there is this profound healing that is happening, not just because of the new moon on the 13th, but it's also with Venus and Neptune coming together the same exact day in Pisces as well. So there's a lot of healing, there's a lot of dreaminess, there's a lot of creativity, and there's a lot of intuition as well. I want to tell you that. It might be kind of a month for you to slow down, or it might feel slower than you want it to be, but to be honest, this season, March, moving forward, there is going to be a shift. And I do feel like it is turning the page. It's not going to be immediate for people, but I do feel like something is shifting this month. And honestly, for the next couple of months, we don't have any retrogrades or anything like that. We're kind of starting to move forward, which I think a lot of people are excited to hear. You do have the Queen of Wands here as well. Some of you could be interacting with a fire sign. There's a lot of fire energy here. And you've been putting in a lot of energy or trying to make something happen with this person, and it just hasn't happened for whatever reason. Or communication has been a little blocked off. Or maybe this person isn't even talking to you. Maybe it's been some time and you're starting to lose patience with them. But to be honest with you, Cancer, I feel like you're actually embodying this Queen of Wands. because this is someone who has gone through a lot of hardship and has blossomed from it. And the Page of Coins. Yeah, I feel like some of you, you're getting ready to step into some new chapter. This could be a creative thing, actually. I'm feeling something creative. I know this is like our general reading, so clearly this isn't going to apply to everybody. I'm actually getting something with like acting or performing, or something that would involve you to do public speaking, something that feels a little uncomfortable. You kind of have this sort of stage fright, which is kind of interesting because you want to make things happen. You've been working really hard. Maybe part of the reason it just hasn't happened for you yet is there is kind of on the subconscious level this part of you that's afraid of moving forward. And because we live in a law of attraction universe, or a hallway of mirrors, excuse me for a moment, the opportunities that present themselves to us are going to be a match to where we're at. And to be honest, you know, this throat thing I just picked up on for you. Some of you are having a hard time speaking up or sharing your voice. That's what I mean. It's like that throat tightening feeling I was picking up on earlier. That's coming up for you for some reason. And maybe someone is trying to hurry you along, actually. This could be in the reverse as well, and you're the one kind of dragging your feet. But I think you know something needs to change. You need to move forward in some way, or something needs to be said. Let's see. Let's pull an animal card for you, and then we're going to look at the second half of the month, Cancer. What is the animal wisdom for Cancer? Right away, this peacock card came out, which again makes me think of this performance thing, or makes me think of being yourself. Showing off your beauty, whatever your beauty is. I'm going to be honest with you, Cancer. I almost feel like there are people who are holding you back from doing what you want. And I almost get this kind of on the subtle level, like crabs in a barrel sort of thing. They don't want you to do better on a subconscious level, because then that would make them feel worse about themselves. Someone might be holding you back. And as I said that again, I keep getting this throat thing. That's interesting. Don't let yourself be silenced. Be very expressive. And understand that some people just aren't going to get it. They're not going to get you, and that's okay. You don't have to change anyone's mind. You don't have to convince anyone. What is this performance thing, or this public speaking thing, or whatever it is that's like making you so nervous? But it's exciting. It's really exciting. Ace of Cups here. Like it so far. A new beginning. Let me see. I'm actually going to clarify this Ace of Cups. Yeah, with the Judgment card, there is this calling. It's like the universe is trying to get you to do this bigger thing, to step into your life purpose more. And you're really going to be feeling this in Aries season towards the end of March, because again, that is your 10th house, and right around this full moon period. Don't be afraid to speak up, and also to like talk about your achievements and your accomplishments too. I feel like some of you might be afraid to kind of be boastful in that way, but I actually think that will help you be seen. It will help you be recognized, especially if there is like some sort of work situation, like a promotion on the line, or you're applying for something. Don't be afraid to really sell yourself, essentially. But yeah, there's so much healing with these two cards. It's so beautiful and so lovely to see this. There may actually be someone who is coming back from the past, and I know people hate hearing that message, or that's not always a healthy message to hear. That doesn't mean that you're getting back together with this person or anything like that. It might not even be an ex. It could be an old friend or family member. Something that ended dramatically, or something that kind of left hard feelings. I do feel like there is this healing. And to be honest with you, I'm looking at this Ten of Swords, and it's like the phoenix is about to rise again. Something that you thought was defeated is about to lift up. And I actually think it's your own spirit. That's going to be how people look at you. You went through some sort of hard time, you put in a lot of hard work, and you might have felt like you were defeated before, but I feel like you are actually rising up here, and you're finding quite a bit of stability with the King of Coins as well. Again, this really does actually feel quite career-oriented, but theoretically, or I could feel it for some of you being a relationship with an earth sign, some sort of healing that's going on for you there. That's Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. But to be honest, Cancer, it feels like you are building your empire. And you've been putting in a lot of work. And I almost feel like if you've been in kind of a traditional job that you just haven't been recognized in, some of you might be thinking of working for yourself. And maybe that's sort of that feeling I was getting again of, you know, kind of your throat closing, feeling unsure of yourself. Have the confidence. Channel peacock energy. That's what I'm going to tell you. Let's get one more animal card for you. Interesting. There's a lot of similar cards that are happening here. If you have any Gemini placements, you might want to look at the Gemini reading, because hyena came up for them too, and there was a lot of similar energies. And there was also similar energies with Taurus too. I don't know what's going on. It seems like there's kind of some similar themes for people this month, which is interesting. But with hyena, I was talking about this with Gemini, and for you as well, Cancer, it's like you're kind of laughing at yourself. You're making a joke out of the things you want. You're sort of using humor as a mask, or using humor to diffuse kind of tense energy or conflict, where you really need to be having a heart-to-heart with someone. And you really need to be more open and speaking your truth. And I feel like for a lot of you, this really is you not taking yourself seriously. You're kind of laughing at your own dreams. I want to actually clarify this King of Coins. Why is the King of Coins here? Because I think this is connected to this hyena. You've been settling for less. You know, with hyena, it's that scavenger energy. And I know things right now are really hard if you're looking at new jobs or just trying to create a new life for yourself. Interesting. Queen of Cups with the King of Coins. This is your energy. And I feel like this is you stepping into your purpose, your calling. This could be a creative thing. I was getting something with like performance or maybe fashion, something like that too. Whatever this is, whatever this dream of yours is, it's really important that you start taking strides towards that. I do feel like some of you are walking away from a situation. It does feel like a work or maybe even a relationship situation. But there's so much healing if you do this. It's going to be like right there for you. And that's interesting, because sometimes when I see the Ten of Swords, it's kind of one of those cards that feels really painful, but to be honest, it's almost like a Band-Aid. Like pulling a Band-Aid. Like you're kind of making it worse by thinking too much about it. If you just do it and move forward with your life, follow your intuition, follow your calling, there's going to be so much more healing for you. Tell me more about this Ten of Swords. Interesting. The Ten of Cups with the Ten of Swords. So there could be an end to a relationship. But to be honest, the way I actually feel more about this Ten of Cups is like you're walking away from some sort of ideal that you thought you had to live your life as. Like you were trying to replicate this ideal version of life, or what you thought you were supposed to be working for or wanted. And I think you're kind of putting that down, and you're really picking up what's meant for you. There really could be an ex who's coming back. I'm going to be honest. That doesn't mean that you have to get back together with this person if it was really toxic or unhealthy. Feel that out for yourself, to be honest. I actually almost get the sense, Cancer, that you are supposed to, like... I don't think you're supposed to take this person back if this is an ex coming back or someone you're thinking a lot about from the past. I think it's almost like the idea of what the relationship could have been, or the unfulfilled potential that you had, that makes it painful. But it's like if you really looked at it for what it wasn't a match to that. Or it wasn't a match to you. I really feel like I need to tell you this, Cancer. I don't want you to settle. Don't settle. I feel like a lot of you have just been working really hard in a situation, or putting in a lot of effort or energy, giving that to somebody. And I think now it's time for you to give your energy to you and to your own dreams. And it's almost like you're dreaming a new life for yourself, and there's so much healing that comes from that. I do again get the sense like there was this really dramatic ending, and it felt like you were never going to be happy again, and you will be happy again, Cancer. And it's going to require you to kind of step out of your comfort zone a little bit. But I feel that blessing for you, and it feels very profound. And those are all the messages I am getting for you this month, Cancer. I do hope this was helpful, gave you some things to think about. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. Let me know in the comment section down below what came up for you in this reading. I do have all of my links for personal readings and Reiki sessions if you're looking for some more guidance or assistance in your own life. I do have the timestamps if you're looking for your moon, rising, or Venus sign videos. Maybe there's something in there for you that didn't come up in this video, and you're welcome to take a look at those. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care, Cancer, and have a happy March. Hey Leo, this is Michael with your general reading for March 2021. I do hope that this video finds you well and in good spirits. I was saying in the intro that March is going to be a really wonderful month for the collective, and I think you are certainly no exception to this. We actually have quite a lovely placement for you when we have the Sun conjunct Venus on the, it's the 26th in Aries. That's actually going to be a really powerful time for you. That is actually going to have a lot of effect on your sense of kind of horizons, and your sense of spirituality, and your sense of like purpose, long-term goals, really learning new information. I think there's going to be a lot of beauty and healing that actually comes for you there. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but I feel like there's something with spirituality that is going to be really healing for you, and you are just going to be glowing, and there's a lot of confidence, and I think there's even going to be some movement, like forward movement, that's going to be happening for some of you. Obviously, we have a lot going on still with the pandemic, with lockdowns. Things might be feeling a little bit stuck, but some of you could be making travel plans, or there's some sort of opportunity that is happening for you at the end of the month. That's kind of something that is coming through as well. Again, though, this month really is a lot about healing. And I think last month was really hard, right? Especially being in Aquarius season, your opposite sign. There was just so much energy with all of the big stellium in Aquarius squaring against Uranus in Taurus. There was a lot of things that just felt really, really uncomfortable. And like we needed to really shake out of our status quo. And there might have been some really serious conversations in the realm of your relationships or the people you are closest to that might have been a bit challenging or hard to navigate. Again, I know the retrograde was pretty challenging for a lot of people in general. And there may even be some things that are happening in your relationships at the start of this month that are kind of coming through. Interestingly, some of you may have had a very hard conversation indeed with the Ten of Swords in the past. There could have even been an ending or just the sense of betrayal or being backstabbed by someone. A lot of the time the Ten of Swords is an intense energy. However, this is showing up in the past, so this has already happened. And if this didn't happen recently, consider how this might be something coming back from the past that's being relevant now for this month. There might be some review or some things that are kind of thematically appropriate to this month. And with this Ten of Swords, there's the Two of Swords. Some of you have learned to be a bit more guarded and discerning. I don't like saying that, like guard your heart, that sort of message, but there is something to it for you. And I think you've learned how to be guarded, and now you're actually learning how to work together with the Three of Pentacles here. This is showing up in the present. With the Ten of Cups, this is all about your happily ever after. A lot of the time when I see the Ten of Cups, it does make us think of relationships, of marriage, long-term commitments like that, things that make you happy. But the way that I think of it is whatever your dreams are. A lot of the time you'll hear kind of like, oh, the dream, the spouse, the kids, the car, the house, like whatever that version is for you, whatever your idyllic life looks like. I'm almost getting the sense, Leo, you're realizing you can't create that for yourself, and that's not actually a bad thing. We're not meant to live alone. I think there's this huge, or to live our lives alone, is what I'm trying to say. I think there's this huge discourse in spirituality and in self-help that was really focused on, I need to just do things for me. I need to be super independent and completely self-sufficient. I can't rely on anyone else. There may have been a period where you needed to do that, Leo. But I actually think you realize you do want to share your life with someone, or you do want more togetherness in your life. If this isn't talking about romance, this could be talking about community. And I do think there is this profound transformation that you're going to be going through this month. Because we are going to be in Pisces, which is 8th house, which is the house of transformation, mysteries, death, rebirth, like a lot of intense energy, to be honest. And it's like you're almost reforging your life and your goals. Let's pull some more cards here. But really interesting so far, really interesting. Some of you need to be able to ask for help. Interesting. So the Seven of Wands with the Queen of Cups coming out together. This is actually posing as a challenge. Some of you are feeling really defensive, potentially around a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio, but I actually do feel like this person is genuinely trying to help you. And I would actually say that is kind of tied to this Pisces energy as well, for you. Especially around the new moon, the Pisces new moon on the 13th, it is also going to be conjunct with Venus and Neptune. And this is really, really interesting because this is kind of the main planet, or I'm sorry, the main aspect that's really bringing a lot of healing this month. And we don't have any retrogrades this month. We finished up Mercury retrograde last month. There's a lot of forward-moving energy. But that's weird for Pisces season, right? The way that almost looks is like all this stuff has come up from the past, or all this stuff has come up in last month for the sake of being healed. Or for the sake of closure. And kind of changing patterns. Some of you are also having a hard time following your intuition this month, or you feel like you need to defend your dreams. That's something else, you know, again, coming up. Defending your dreams, defending what you want. Maybe you're protecting that. Maybe it's not even the people you're trying to build something with, or the relationship you're trying to create. It could actually be talking about it. That's really hard because you don't want that to be judged. You'll feel like you need to defend yourself. And you don't want to be put in that position. Where is all of this leading for Leos? And then we're going to pull some more oracle cards for you. Ooh. Nice. Okay, so we have the Ace of Coins with the Page of Wands. Again, the end of the month really is going to be a really beautiful time for you around the 26th in particular, and around that Aries, or I'm sorry, the Libra full moon. It's a Libra full moon. And that really is opening your mind. That's interesting because that's what I was focusing on before. Yeah, there's this mental shift that's happening for you. And I think your creativity is opening up. There is something spiritual about this as well. Like creating from this spiritual impulse, or creating from this spiritual foundation. This is weird. Are you creating like spiritual art or something? I'm getting that for some of you. Maybe like mandalas, or maybe you're writing spiritual stories. Something like that. I feel like there's a lot of new ideas and a lot of new paths for you to take by the end of the month. And there is actually the potential for something to give you long-term success, a long-term commitment as well. And there's a lot of passion. But I think you need to pick and choose your battles this month. You don't need to change anybody's mind, but you also need to be clear in what it is that you want. And whatever they say about it, that's really on them. Yeah, the Page of Coins. Some of you are feeling a little self-conscious, but there is this new beginning. There's a lot of new beginnings actually for you. I have to ask, and let me know in the comment section down below, have some of you been considering going back to school, or maybe taking a new class, or working in a new environment? There's something that feels new and a little out of your comfort zone, to be honest. And maybe you feel like there's a lot of competition, or you're kind of having to compete. Let's pull some animal wisdom here. What is the animal wisdom for Leo for the month of March? Cobra. Yeah, waiting for the perfect time to strike. You know, this is interesting because Cobra does often represent a teacher. And I was just saying there's something about you learning something, taking a course, possibly going back to school. I feel like there's actually a mentor. And it could actually be this Queen of Cups, this very nurturing or intuitive or wise person. And you know, in today's day and age, that could even just be finding someone on the internet who is helping you work through things, or is giving you a lot of good information. I was saying this is like a spiritual month for you. For some reason, I was feeling that. And the Cobra is a very spiritual energy. I do feel like some of you would benefit from meditation. I mean, who wouldn't really? But I think it's really important for you to have some sort of mindfulness practice this month and really commit to that. But there is an opportunity that you need to go for. This isn't all passive. This isn't all just you, meditating all day or anything like that. There's something that you need to strike for or strike at. You have to wait for the perfect opportunity and move. That's kind of that Cobra energy, sort of swaying before going in for the kill. Is there any other animal wisdom for Leo? Interesting, mouse energy. And it feels like a little, again, like this mousy energy, which is weird for you, Leo. I think this Pisces season is kind of having some sort of effect on you. But it is a really creative time. I do have to say, I do feel like for some of you, there's been a lot of worst case thinking, like jumping to the worst case scenario right away. And you might keep doing that throughout the month, but what you're actually learning to do in March is using this kind of like mental energy into something productive. Like if you're feeling like you're just going over every possible detail of how something could go wrong or trying to get every little thing right, you might need to channel that mental energy in something else that actually does benefit from that exacting eye. And maybe that is something creative. Maybe that is a writing project. For some reason, it was like writing specifically. I was kind of feeling for this group. Let me know again, like what it is that you're writing. Maybe that's connected to the course or something like that you could be taking. Don't underestimate yourself. I think there's a lot of healing for your self-worth. And I think, again, the end of the month with Venus conjunct your sign, that's going to be really powerful for you. And I want to say it's like, what's going on with Venus this month? I feel like it's the evening star this month, which means it will be visible right after sunset. Seeing beauty again. And again, Venus is creativity. It's not just love and relationships. I know that's what a lot of people jump to, and it is, but it is also creating something. And I think, Leo, you're in the process of creating something. You're actually recreating your life. I'm getting the sense it's like you're building your life together with someone or a group of people. Or you're trying to have that happen for you. You're trying to make that happen. Maybe initiate that. But there's still something that's making you feel defensive. I want to clarify a little more why the Seven of Wands is here. You do need to stand up for your beliefs. Stand up for yourself. Yeah, the Knight of Wands. You just need to go for something. Don't get stuck in like a power struggle. If someone's trying to take control of something and a situation just isn't working, or a connection just isn't working, don't try to create that all for yourself with somebody else who's not trying to meet you halfway. But I actually don't even think that's happening for you, Leo. I feel like for some reason there's something about this month where it's like the level between you and other people in your life is being reset. You're being brought to the same level. And then towards the end of the month, there's also this new beginning for you. It could be a new job or a new course. You're learning something new. And it's bringing you a lot of stability in the long run. And maybe that is even a commitment and a connection in a relationship for some of you. But honestly, I feel like the commitment, the Ace of Pentacles at the end of the month here, this is a new beginning for you. And you'll have to let me know. It seems like there's all of this new energy all of a sudden by the end of the month. I'll be really curious to hear about that. And those are all the messages I have for you this month, Leo. I do hope that this was helpful. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. I do have all of my links in the description box down below if you're looking for a personal reading or Reiki session. I do also have all the timestamps if you'd like to look at the videos for your moon, rising, or Venus signs. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care, Leo, and have a happy March. Hey Virgo, this is Michael with your general reading for March 2021. I hope this video finds you well. When I was connecting to your energy, to be totally honest, however, it felt kind of sad. I'm not gonna lie, and I think it was just from this past month, to be honest with you. I'm not saying that March is gonna be a sad month for you. I actually have been saying that March is going to be a really healing month. I was talking about that in the intro of this video. But I think for whatever reason, Virgo, there's just been a lot of focus in your life about what isn't working. And things have been kind of going very slowly. Interesting that the very first card that comes out for you is the Knight of Pentacles, because this is one of your cards. It's slow, steady progress. Doing things the right way the first time. Trying not to make too many mistakes along the way. Being a bit of a perfectionist. But I almost feel like this perfectionism has been a bit crippling or paralyzing for you. And the Nine of Coins is kind of showing up as what you've been learning about. What you've been gaining. You've had to gain a lot of stability for yourself, Virgo. And I know with Pisces season, it's the opposite sign for you. And a lot of the time that season is focused a lot on relationships. I feel like a lot of you have been building something very slowly for yourself, and maybe you're still in the process of doing this. You feel like you should be farther along. You feel like you should be more accomplished. You should have more under your belt, or be farther along than you are. But I think it's actually really important, Virgo, that you pay attention to the things that you have done, how far you've already come. I know with Mercury going retrograde last month, that was also quite challenging for you because Mercury is your ruling planet. And Mercury being retrograde in your 6th house in Aquarius, where we had all of these planets last month and they were all squaring against Uranus and Taurus. That's literally what it is. You know, Taurus is your 9th house. You are literally looking at where you want to be and feeling like where you are and like there's no way to bridge those two things. That's so interesting. And that's just kind of been the whole month in some way or another. And you're still working hard. With the 8 of Pentacles, you're still putting in the effort, or that's what you're being encouraged to do. And I will be honest, this month actually does lighten your energy up quite a bit. You feel this productivity again. You feel this positive workflow. There's so many Pentacles here. You have Mercury conjoining with Jupiter, and I believe that is March 4th or March 5th. That's technically going to be over the course, I think we'll actually feel that for probably the first part of the month. But that really is bringing a lot of blessings. And maybe there has been this attrition of things that have not been working, this loss of things that have not been working. And it could be a loss of relationship, or it could just be things not going the way you want them to, or the pace you think they should be. To be honest with you, Virgo, that actually seems to be the challenge for you, at least in the first part of this month. It's like you haven't even failed. Yet I feel like for a lot of you, there's a sense of failure or not feeling enough. Or like, I don't know, you haven't missed your chance or anything like that. I will say too, this this Pisces new moon is going to be really, really healing for a lot of you. And it's funny that I say that because you have the Temperance, 5 of Coins, and the Emperor card. If you have felt left out in the cold, or isolated or alone, I do feel like this new moon is a really powerful time to heal those wounds and to manifest new relationships. And there is this thing that is taking time. You will have your empire, Virgo. You really will. It's just going to take time with Temperance. But you're building something beautiful and stable. But right now it feels really lonely. Or it feels like I don't know, you're getting distracted by the cracks in the mirror and you're losing sight of the way things really are. Interesting, Virgo. I really think that this month is going to be very healing for you if you let it be. And I know a lot of intense emotions came up for a lot of people last month. And I almost have just been framing this for my clients and for the other videos I've done so far. It's almost like all of this stuff was being kicked up to be healed. Whatever was kind of settled at the bottom, there was this sort of wave or this current that washed it all up to the surface. And now you're cleansing that. But it was already there. That sort of unsettled feeling or that feeling of not being enough. It's just being kicked up again. Interesting. The Fool and the Eight of Cups. Some of you are going to have to walk away from a situation or take some time, but to be honest, Virgo, it feels like you're just straight up walking away and you're jumping into something new. Or you're finding this new energy again. Let's kind of clarify this. I think you do need more time, honestly. I think you just need time for yourself with the Four of Swords. I see. It feels like for a while you've been in this Eight of Cups energy. And it's almost like the more you're trying to get out of this gradual ending, this in-between, this uncertainty, the harder it is. I do feel like come Aries season, because the Fool does represent Aries energy to me, even though it's technically Uranus, it's making me feel like you're moving forward with something by the end of March or maybe in April. You are finally leaving something behind. And maybe it's just not time for that to happen yet. For some of you, this could be I'm almost getting a move is potentially in the future for some of you as well. Interesting. Interesting. So the Hierophant and the Lovers just came out. There is something about a long-term relationship and a marriage here. And or marriage, because not everyone's going to get married or anything like that. But there is this desire for kind of a traditional relationship. And I think that's also something that's coming as well. And again, this Pisces season is going to be a good time to manifest. And it might be time to put yourself out there again. Or open yourself up to something. Let me see. I want to clarify this a little more. Is this connected to the walking away, or is this something else? Why is the Hierophant and the Lovers here? Show me clearly. I feel like there is something coming. You've been waiting a long time for this with the Three of Wands, and I do have the Queen of Coins. This could be talking about a Taurus energy as well. You have that with the Hierophant. Could also be Gemini, potentially. There is something coming here. Some of you want to be, if this isn't about a relationship, it's about whatever it is that you love. Or whatever it is that you want to do. Whatever brings love into your heart. There really might be walking away from a relationship, especially with a fire sign individual or someone who has a lot of fire placements. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And I did get that Aries energy before as well. I just want to say for my Virgos out there who are going through a breakup or a separation, I do feel like there is another relationship for you that's coming in, and that needs to just be cleared out. Something is kind of being washed away with this wave that we were talking about earlier. And I have to be honest, for the Virgos who are resonating with this, it feels like it's been quite some time for a lot of you since when this relationship ended. I'm kind of seeing this with you being off by yourself, building this nest for you. Some of you used work to kind of bury your emotions. And now it's time to heal. Because it's bringing you a lot of blessings when you do that. Let's pull an animal card for you, Virgo. Let's see here. And I think I'm going to pull a color healing card as well. Wow, dolphin. So this is a card of healing. It's also a card of a soulmate because very often dolphins travel in pairs. So when I see the dolphin card come up, especially when we're talking about relationship, I do think of soulmate, that sort of energy and finding healing. A lot of the time, dolphin energy is someone who has a very healing spirit and they may underestimate themselves. I think this might actually be you, Virgo. You've put in a lot of effort and that might not have always been recognized by people, whether that's in a work situation or in a relationship. I do have a fire ants card as well. And again, I was feeling like there was this situation you had to kind of distance yourself from, at least temporarily, where all of this heat is kind of in the center and you're taking on that heat. And I know with the Fire Ants card, it's almost like you just need to cool down for a little bit. And maybe that means taking a break. You might actually just need to be taking a break from work. For those of you who aren't resonating with this being a relationship, the thing you're kind of distancing yourself from now or taking a break from for now is just this really hard work that you've been putting in towards something. And it's almost like you're trying to achieve a certain state before you let yourself relax, but it's almost like if you just relax into the energy, Virgo, the thing you want to have happen that you've been working so hard to have happen will finally come to fruition for you. And I know that's sort of a weird thing. Sometimes that's how it works with energy. If you're trying to force something too hard, it makes it harder for that to come through. And you can actually check in with your body if you're having this sort of tight feeling or restrictive feeling. That is actually an indication that you are holding back energy and you are in a state of resistance. So try and soften this energy within yourself. Give yourself time to heal. That's a huge thing for you this month. Take a break. Man, am I speaking to myself at this point? I'm a Virgo too. I know it's hard. We don't like taking breaks. We really don't. But let's see. Let's get the color healing card for you, Virgo. Lavender. Connect to body, mind, and soul. Yes. Heal. Relax. Okay. Let's see. And 44. Interesting. Number 44. This is, 4 to me is a number of foundation, building something stable for yourself. And with this being a master number adding up to 8, there's a lot of power that you're coming into. And it might take some time. It might have been a long journey, but I do feel like you are coming into something that's very powerful and stable. You're coming into your empire here. Let's see. Lavender is a subtle color that sharpens your intuitive abilities, brings out leadership qualities, and strengthens the connection between your body, mind, and spirit. Lavender also helps boost your immune system and assist with the healing process. Connect to heaven and earth with lavender threads of light. To feel whole, you need to experience the connection between your mind, body, and soul. Imagine a lavender thread of light that links your body to your mind and your mind to your soul. Observe how this lavender thread connects your feet to the energy of the earth and your mind to the higher realms. Focus on the joy of being yourself, in touch with heaven while on earth. Say, Divine Spirit, strengthen my connection to my own divinity and allow me to see the divinity in others. Thank you. Interesting. Very, very interesting. And a lot of this lavender card too, it felt like being at peace with where you're at. Where was that? And like feeling whole, allowing yourself to feel whole. Some of you feel like you're not able to feel whole unless your life looks a very specific way, but it's almost like those things can't happen. You can't manifest those things until you become whole in yourself. So that's really, really interesting, and it might feel a little counterintuitive, but really take it easy on yourself. Really focus on your healing. I do hope that this lavender card gave you something to work with and was helpful for all of you. I'd be so curious to hear from you all in the comment section down below what it is you're going on or working on, what it is that you've been really trying to build for so long. I think if you just give yourself some space from it and come back to it, it's going to be like a fresh beginning, a fresh start, to be totally honest. Make sure to hit like and subscribe. I do have all of my links in the description box down below if you're looking for personal readings or Reiki sessions. And of course, all the timestamps are available if you want to check out your moon, rising, or Venus sign. There may also be a message for you there. And I will see you all in the next video. Have a happy March, Virgo. Happy spring for those of you in the Northern Hemisphere. Change of season. And I will see you all soon. Take care. Hey Libra, this is Michael with your general reading for March 2021. I do hope that this finds you well and in good spirits. As I was saying in the intro, I know February was a really challenging month for a lot of people. And for you in particular, Libra, this was activating a lot of drama, creativity, things with romance, dating. All of these things were kind of coming up to your mind, and it might have come in the form of wounds to sort of look at. And so for the month of March, there's a lot of healing that is going to be available to the collective. It's actually a wonderful month, especially for you, Libra, because your ruling planet Venus is in the sign of Pisces, and it's going to be joining Neptune, the healer, the kind of Piscean energy. It's the ruler of Pisces. And it is going to be on the Pisces full moon. So you have all of this spiritual healing that is coming to you. It's all of this relief, kind of washing away the pains of the past. I think it's going to be a really beautiful month for a lot of people, but I'm feeling that especially for you, Libra, as well. I do know that the sun is also going to be conjunct Venus towards the end of the month in Aries. That is actually going to be bringing a lot of blessings for you, potentially in relationships or partnerships, or just a lot of illumination in the way that you approach relationships. So you can kind of cultivate relationships that you want. So all of that is really, really good stuff. But again, I know this past month was really hard for a lot of people. And I think March does start off a little bit slow just because we are going to be in the post-shadow phase of Mercury retrograde, which we had all last month. But once we're out of that, which is going to be after the first week, Libra, we don't have a Mercury, or we don't have a retrograde planet for several months, or at least until June, which is honestly a big relief, I think, for a lot of people, because it's like we're finally able to move forward a little bit. I think especially towards the end of March, when we're into Aries season, we're going to be seeing some engines revving, so to speak. But I think right now it's all about healing and kind of letting go of the past, letting go of this crazy year that we've all been living through. I know that this is also the anniversary, or kind of, it was this time last year where most of the world shut down and our lives were really changed. So I think there's going to be a lot of kind of reflection on that, and maybe there's some things or emotions that get kicked up in a lot of people, but it's all for the sake of our healing. Interesting. And, you know, the card that actually came out for you first is Temperance, which is usually about healing. Finding balance. That's been a big theme for you this past month, maybe even longer, maybe this past year. And needing to kind of be in balance in hard situations. You are very sensitive, Libra, with this Page of Cups here. I actually do feel like some of you are feeling ready for love and opening your heart again. It's taken some time to heal. Or there could be some sort of renewal in a relationship or in a connection for some of you. You do have the Chariot, but it's coming out in the reverse in the present here. Kind of clarifying this with the Page of Swords in the reverse. I think some of you are starting to get impatient. And that could be a theme for you coming into March. And maybe even a theme throughout March, because I know with Mars in the sign of Gemini, people want things to start moving again. People want a lot of action. It might feel a little back and forth. The energy might be a little scattered because of this. And for you, as a fellow air sign, Mars being in Gemini is really affecting you and your 9th house, your ideals. You might be thinking about travel a lot or learning about different belief systems. Trying to broaden your horizons, and of course, right now that's very challenging. At least in the traditional 9th house travel that we're used to. And maybe this is just a lot of energy in your life right now. You want to move forward, but you can't, and you've just had to be patient. And it's almost like that intensity of feeling stuck or feeling unable to move forward has actually been quite healing for you if you look back on this. You've kind of had to sit with these feelings. Or find something that you could put this energy in the meantime. Nine of Coins with the Two of Wands in reverse here. And this is showing up as a challenge for this month. Some of you really aren't seeing kind of the bigger picture of all the things you've done and all the ways you've grown. Again, that's kind of coming up for me. And again, this idea of wanting to go somewhere else or do something else, looking into the future and not being able to have a clear course of action. But I think a lot of this is finding contentment in the moment. And maybe clearing your space, taking care of your space, creating sacred space for yourself, because that is going to be a theme for you this month, and taking care of your body, taking care of your health. And maybe it feels like that's all you've been doing, but to be honest, I feel like your energy is a little... Again, that's, yeah, scattered. It feels scattered. There's something about this that feels unsettled. And I think for you, the healing is coming. You've been healing, but I think the healing comes through in the ways of finding your center, finding this peace. Regardless of what your external reality looks like, although it is often a mirror, I still think you need to take care of your space, Libra. But I feel like this is you finding contentment within yourself, tapping into your own inner wisdom with this owl here. There might be canceled plans as well. That could be something. That is kind of weighing on you. Where's all of this leading for Libra? Show me clearly. Ooh, you do have a 10 of Cups here. there is happiness that is coming in for you. And the Ten of Cups often does signify harmonious relationships. It signifies a lot of emotional satisfaction and contentment. It's basically kind of having your dreams come true in a way. And I know that seems like a big jump, and I'm not saying that's all going to happen for you by the end of this month, but there's something you're moving towards right now, Libra. Especially if you are a Libra Venus. The Five of Cups. I feel like some of you are still hung up on things that weren't good for you. And that might actually be preventing this kind of tidal wave of blessings and healing for you, and new opportunities, new love. Let's kind of clarify some of this a little bit more, and then we'll pull some animal cards. The King of Coins. Yeah, again, there really is this thing about you stabilizing this month. And it's always interesting with Libra because everything in your chart is opposite. Especially if you're a Libra rising, you know, your houses are in the opposite sign because naturally Libra wants to be in the 7th house. But if you're a Libra rising, it's in the 1st house. And so on and so forth. And it's like Libra energy in general is about that duality, those oppositions. And with this being Pisces season, it really is actually time for you to ground, to take care of yourself, to do the work that you need to do. And you'll have a lot of success from that. It will pay off for you. There's a lot of happiness coming here for you, Libra. I don't want you to focus on the negative. But I almost feel like you're kind of psyching yourself out. And I also feel like a lot of you feel like your dreams aren't possible. And maybe some of you, maybe there is elements of you wanting things or thinking you want things you don't actually want. Maybe you should sit down with yourself and ask yourself, why do I think I want a relationship? Or why do I think I want this job? What do I think this is really going to change in my life? And maybe those changes are things that you can start doing now. And I actually think that is very appropriate for you this month. But to be honest, Libra, it actually looks really positive overall. I'm just feeling in your energy there's this almost resistance towards that. Like you don't quite believe it. Tell me more about this Ten of Cups. Let's look at the good stuff here. Something has been in incubation for a long time, maybe multiple things. Or you've just been waiting on something. Yeah, the Knight of Coins. You've worked hard for something, being very patient with something. Could be involving a Virgo. There is quite a bit of Earth energy on the table, so it could be a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn energy. Tell me about this Ten of Cups here. Show me clearly. I really feel like, Libra, looking at this Ten of Cups, it kind of made me think you actually have more of what you want than you realize. It's almost like you've gotten so used to what you want out of life feeling so far away that you don't see all the things you already have, all the things you've already manifested. And what's already there in your life. And I think by the end of the month, you're finding things to appreciate currently in your life already. We were sort of talking about that with the 9 of Pentacles here, but that also makes perfect sense with the 5 of Cups in reverse. Traditionally, this card, it's like 3 cups knocked over and there's 2 cups remaining, and this person is just beside themselves because these 3 cups are knocked over. And they don't quite see that there's still the 2 cups that remain. And actually, when you look at that traditional card, it's quite interesting. One of the liquids that is spilling out of one of the cups is, it's green, it's poison. There was something that wasn't good for you that was lost. And so I don't want you to focus on the things that aren't in your life now, especially when it's coming to relationships. Just kind of like looking at the astrology, I think that could be something for quite a bit of you. Don't focus on what has been lost that wasn't good for you. Really look objectively. Don't look at how you think things could have been, or kind of the fairy tale you had in your head. I think some of you are also realizing a situation that you thought was like so incredible in the past that was lost actually wasn't so great. And there's healing that comes in that. Or that's what healing brings to you. It gives you that organic realization. And you are looking forward to something. There is something beautiful coming in the horizon with the 3 of Wands. Let's pull some animal cards here. What should we be focusing on? What should we be embodying for the month of March for Libra? Sea Serpent, all about this emotional healing. Wow, okay. Yeah, so Sea Serpent actually represents the sacral chakra, or the Svadhisthana chakra, which actually translates as in her own abode, which is funny because we were kind of talking about this with the 9 of Pentacles. And I say this a lot on this channel, but I feel like there's this coming home to yourself in a lot of ways. And making yourself at home in your own skin. And I feel like that's really, really important, because I think some of you might have been trying to derive that from relationships or from other people or your career, or whatever it is, from the external world, right? And those things, if that's how you supply your sense of esteem and worth, it's inevitably just going to blow up in your face. There has to be this organic relationship that you have with yourself. And the Sea Serpent is all about healing this emotional center, finding balance in our emotions, riding out the waves of our emotions. So this is a big month for you, again. And with this new moon in Pisces, conjunct Neptune and Venus, this is bringing you a lot of healing. Quite literally, actually. It could literally be bringing you healing because of the astrology right now. If you've been dealing with medical conditions or health problems, this new moon is also a good time to set an intention for healing, or taking better care of your health. Creating a lifestyle that is more conducive for you, as opposed to trying to fit yourself into a lifestyle that may not be meant for you. Is there anything else here? Let's pull one more animal card, and then I kind of want to pull a color healing card for you too. Okay, so we have 2. We have Lion and Dragon, and again, finding this inner fire. I really feel like all 3 of the lower chakras for you actually need some work this month, just to be honest. So spend some time grounding. But I do feel like this is you finding your passion. And when I think of Lion, it's like the strength card, the strength of your own heart. And there is a need for you to really have this self-possessed energy. Let's pull a color healing card for you as well to kind of work with this energy. And you're welcome to use this in any way that feels right to you. I'm just going to be reading from the booklet, but think of that more as a suggestion. You're welcome to incorporate these colors in any way that makes sense to you and your intuition. What are the messages for Libra, or what is the healing color for Libra? Show me clearly, please. What is the healing frequency for Libra? Wow. Okay, so pink and blue. So pink is letting love in. We were talking about this before. And blue is activating your healing power. So this one is pretty obvious. I think you just need to visualize blue light. If you are dealing with a health condition, I know it talks about visualizing like a blue sort of light and kind of severing whatever illness is in your body. So you're doing this as like a meditation practice or energy work exercise, using this blue color to help you heal and also to calm your emotions, to find your center. Your emotions may be really, really high. They may be really, really low. This blue color will actually help you find balance. I know this came up for one of the other signs, so I'm kind of just reading that off from memory. What I am interested in is this pink card, which I will read out from the book here. Pink is the energy of unconditional love, opening your heart and helping to heal heart problems. It assists with releasing emotional challenges and brings tranquility. Pink also helps with insomnia and the manifestation of dreams. Interesting. Open your heart with delicate pink colors. Become aware of any tension in your body. Take in a deep breath and allow your body to soften. Focus on letting go of any hardness or density. Close your eyes and imagine you are holding the most beautiful pink flower. Breathe in its sweet scent, inviting its beauty and delicateness into your heart. Then imagine pink light from the flower flowing into your heart and filling it up with unconditional love. Now, think of someone you love and allow the love you feel to pour into your heart, or pour from your heart into his or hers. Savor that feeling of love and connectedness. Say, divine love, pour your healing light into my heart. Soften it, purify it, and rejuvenate it so that it is shiny, loving, and full of enthusiasm. So there really is just a lot of healing, and I feel like a lot of these chakras are coming in now with the heart chakra, these lower chakras we were talking about, even the throat chakra with the blue color here. There's just a lot of balancing, I think, that's going on in your system. And I think this month really is kind of the month for you to focus on that, to do this healing work. I think this is a beautiful exercise for you and everything that we've been talking about. And another way that this pink is coming to me, something that I actually used to do, I would visualize someone or something I loved and kind of do this with a glass of water, like visualize sending that love of that person. I'd use like my nieces or something like that, something sweet. And then after infusing the water with that energy, I would drink in that energy of unconditional love. And I think for some of you, something like that could also be helpful, and maybe using that pink color as well could amp up that energy. I do hope this was helpful for you, Libra. Make sure to hit like and subscribe. Let me know what ways are you working on your healing this month. It seems to be so important for all of us, especially for you. And when you heal yourself, you also impact the people around you. You heal the people around you. So it's always something that overflows, and it's a beautiful gift to be able to give that to yourself, and you give it to others by extension. I do have links in my description box if you want a Reiki session or a personal reading, maybe you want some energy healing or a little extra guidance. That is all available to you. I also have all of the timestamps for the other signs if you're looking for your moon, rising, or Venus sign. And I will see you all next month, Libra. Have a great March. I'm wishing you all a happy spring or autumn for those of you who are on the southern hemisphere. And I will see you soon. Take care. Hey Scorpio, this is Michael with your general reading for March 2021. We made it through February. I know for a lot of people it was a challenging month. I was talking about that in the intro. For a lot of you, it could actually have brought up stuff with home or your roots or your family with this Aquarius season that we were in. And there was a lot of harsh energy there. It really was a challenging month for a lot of people. Maybe there was this feeling of being uprooted or wanting to be rooted, more rooted than you are. And I think this month, March, is actually going to be a really good time for you to just experience joy. Because Pisces is your 5th house. We are entering in, or we're already in this Pisces season. Ooh, sorry, I just had a bunch of cards fly out here. Yeah, so we have a bunch of planets that are moving through Pisces right now, and that's really going to be, for you, an opportunity to bring in joy. And the cards that just flew out here, the Two of Swords and the Queen of Swords, I feel like some of you have really been closed off to your heart for quite some time. And maybe that's because there was some sort of pain there that you weren't able to look at or deal with at the time. But it's like the longer you've gone on, the more things festered. And I think there's a lot of preventing yourself from feeling. Now, if this doesn't sound like you, Scorpio, this could also be another person, especially if you know a Libra or possibly Gemini or Aquarius, or maybe even a late Virgo, where there was kind of like something blocked between the two of you, blocked emotions. This person was emotionally blocked that you were dealing with. Whatever their sign was, if it's not you, it could be somebody else. But honestly, Scorpio, this feels like a lot of you were kind of frozen in your own energy. And you are the sign of frozen hellfire. So it's always interesting. You have that sort of paradox. You can be very... You're very watery, but you're also like a fire sign in a lot of ways because you're ruled by Mars. And your energy this month might feel really scattered because Mars actually is in the sign of Gemini right now. Sorry, one second. Mars is in the sign of Gemini, so your energy is probably feeling really scattered. There might be a lot of arguments, and maybe that's also what this Queen of Swords is representing as well. Someone who has sort of a sharp tongue. Maybe you're distancing yourself from this person. Ooh, okay. Ace of Cups in reverse. So this does actually feel like for a lot of you, maybe a relationship that ended, or a relationship where there was kind of some hardship here, and there may still be hardship in the month of March. I feel like there's something that you need to heal. I don't think you've quite opened yourself up to your emotions yet, Scorpio. Because this is kind of what you're supposed to be learning about. And I think some of you are actually afraid of your emotions or opening up or being vulnerable. And that's probably because of a relationship from the past, or something, some sort of relationship trauma. It could be an attachment style thing. If you're not familiar, I feel like some of you might be kind of avoidant of closeness right now, actually. And maybe you don't resonate with that. Maybe you're watching this and you're like, oh no, I definitely want a relationship, Michael. Like, I know I'm ready for this. Really look at kind of the relationships and the people you're attracted to, and really kind of assess, are these people I actually am able to cultivate some sort of closeness with, or do I keep finding myself attracted to people who can't meet me where I'm at emotionally? Because I feel like there's sort of this pattern here. And honestly, you know, with the month of March being in Pisces, for a lot of you, This really is going to be a month for you to just kind of open yourself up to pleasure and romance and creativity and drama. We're just kind of looking so far at where your energy has been, and you do actually have the Page of Swords. So there could be new communication, new people coming into your life, or conversations opening up. I feel like someone is finally willing to extend a hand, reach out to you, or maybe you're reaching out to them. But there's still not this... I feel like with you, Scorpio, you're trying to focus a lot on the future. Or there's this focus on the future, and something just isn't clear right now. And that's sort of what's presenting the challenge. But I think there's a lot of openness that you're supposed to be stepping into, or just having a very open mind this month. And it's not necessarily about trying to figure out where everything is going right away. Maybe that's been the pattern that's kind of shut you down from getting to know people. And in the future, we have the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Coins. Interesting. So this could be an earth or water sign that you are connecting with here. I actually do kind of feel like you are the Queen of Cups, to be totally honest. And there is this Queen of Coins who is coming into the picture. Let's clarify this a little more. What's going on? I do feel like emotionally you're feeling much more fluid towards the end of the month and much more stable. Where you started off kind of the Queen of Swords, you're ending off much more nurturing. There's kind of this sharpness that isn't there anymore, or this edge that is kind of softening for you by the end of this month. Yeah, the Lovers. I thought so. Okay. This is, I think this is pretty clear. I do feel like for some of you there could be a connection possibly with an earth sign or possibly a Gemini. That's also what the Lovers could be indicating here. But to be honest, I think you just need to be open this month. And if this doesn't represent like a relationship for you, like if that's not what you're coming into this reading for, this could also be about doing something that you love and making something stable out of that. I see this sort of passion and the heart with the Queen of Cups, creating this sort of garden, this physical thing, creating something emotional into a tangible thing with the Queen of Coins. And the Lovers here, it's following the heart, committing to something here, committing to the long term. Interesting. And the Emperor, yeah, you are building this empire for yourself. A lot of beautiful cards here for the future. And I can see that the energy was a bit jagged for you. And maybe it feels kind of jagged in the first part of this month. And I actually think you sort of need to soften into it. Even if it feels painful, you almost need to sit into your pain and explore that and be willing to talk about it. Some of you might be having a hard time reaching out with the Three of Wands here. There could also be like travel delays or canceled plans. Yeah, it is reaching out. That's so interesting. The Three of Coins here in reverse. You're afraid to reach out. Or someone's afraid to reach out here. Someone has to reach out in this situation. I'm just going to say it. Someone has to reach out. And to be honest with you, Scorpio, I feel like you're kind of frozen at the start of this month. And maybe this is somebody else I'm picking up on, but I see this Queen of Swords and it kind of felt like you, if I'm being totally honest. So you might need to kind of lower your guard and experience your own emotions first. I feel like there was this sharp exchange. You might not be talking to this person right now. Let's pull an animal card and kind of get a sense here of what we should be embodying or what we should be doing. Firefly. Following your inspiration, following your spark. It's interesting too because fireflies light up to kind of attract one another. And to be honest, I almost feel like you might have been cold without realizing it. Or maybe you were just intentionally not looking for a connection, but I feel like you are bringing in new energy. You are attracting people this month, Scorpio, or you are attracting someone. Could also have something to do with an Aries as well, with the Emperor. Is there anything else? Anything else? I feel like with the Firefly, I was talking earlier about how Mars is going to be in Gemini throughout this month. And it's kind of the scattered energy. I'm actually feeling like, Scorpio, the best way to work with this energy is just to follow the impulse the moment you have it. Like if you have this idea or you have this inspiration or motivation to do something, don't wait, just act on it. Because a lot of the time, the Firefly energy can sort of be that fleeting energy, that fleeting spark. So act on that when it rises up in you. I think that's kind of like what you need to do. You do just need to have fun with this month. And it's funny, Scorpio, I almost feel like I'm telling you, you just have to have fun. Like you just have to enjoy yourself. You have to open up your heart. And your energy is kind of like, I don't want to. It's interesting. But it's okay to enjoy yourself. Don't feel guilty for enjoying yourself. Even if it feels just like a temporary thing, or like it shouldn't matter in the long run, it totally matters. What else? Is there any other wisdom we have for Scorpio here? The Tiger. Interesting. There really is a lot of power with this energy, and to be honest, I'm actually getting quite a bit of sensuality from this Tiger energy. And with this new moon that we have in Pisces on the 13th, and Venus and Neptune is also going to be conjunct with that as well, so it's going to be very, very powerful. That's going to bring a lot of healing to the collective, and for you it can really bring in passion. It can bring in excitement, creativity, sensuality. It can really bring in a lot of these things. And if you're feeling that sort of lack right now, that could be a good time to manifest it. Doing some sort of ritual or writing it out on that night or around that time. I do feel like with Tiger, you might feel like you need to spend some time alone still. There is still this kind of guardedness I'm feeling. Or someone is guarded. Maybe someone is just feeling overstimulated. It might not be you. It could be this other person. And I actually feel like, I don't know why this is coming up, but I believe to bring this card into balance, it talks about Trataka meditation. And that's actually candle gazing, which is interesting because I'm thinking of my candles right behind me here. Kind of focusing on that fire. And focusing on that attention, or focusing your attention on that. And kind of burning away certain things, certain beliefs or blockages. That's coming up for some reason. And it's interesting too, because we also have the Libra full moon at the end of this month as well, and that's going to be on the 27th, I believe. That's going to be, I mean, for the collective in general, it brings up a lot of stuff with relationships, changes in relationships, or changes in the way that we approach relationships. And with all of this relationship energy here, that there could be a new relationship for some of you by the end of the month. Or you're going in that direction with somebody. But it's like right now, the connection isn't there. And maybe that's because it's not that person. There's someone from the past you're closing out with. It could also just be that someone is closed off to it because of something from the past. And someone's feeling like they need alone time, or they need time to kind of gather their strength, recharge. But that's very interesting. And you know, this Libra full moon for you, it's really showing you a lot of your subconscious being your 12th house. You are tapping into your spirituality, into your intuition quite a bit this month, especially with all of this Pisces energy. I think your intuition actually will be quite high. And maybe because of this, you're going to be very sensitive to energy, and you're feeling like you need to kind of spend time to yourself. Tiger is about the lunar forces, spending time in darkness. That's also why I think the Trataka could be helpful for some of you. Yeah, I feel this really powerful energy right now, and it's almost like, I know for felines, for cats, their whole body is like hypersensitive. They have these very hypersensitive nervous systems. That's why when you pet a cat, they'll actually bite you. It's because they literally are building up a charge in their body, like the static from their fur. And a lot of people don't understand that about cats. They think they're just mean or cold. They're very misunderstood. And honestly, I'm getting that sort of energy this month. Someone is feeling overstimulated. Someone is feeling overcharged. They need to kind of like retreat. There were some emotions that were brought up for someone. But I feel like there's a lot of healing and, again, a lot of love that's coming at the end of this month. So that's really, really exciting. I hope this was helpful for you, Scorpio. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. Let me know in the comment section down below who you think this is or what's going on exactly. I'd be really curious to hear. I do have all of my links for personal readings and Reiki sessions in the description box, as well as timestamps for all the other readings if you want to take a look at your moon, rising, or Venus sign. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care, Scorpio, and have a happy March. Hey there, Sagittarius. This is Michael with your general reading for March 2021. I hope that this finds you well. I was talking about in the intro how last month was definitely a very challenging month for a lot of people. I think there was a lot going on for you, Sagittarius, with all of this Aquarian energy. Plus, your ruling planet Jupiter is still in the sign of Aquarius, so there's a lot going on in your mind, in your communication. Your days just might be very, very full. There's a lot going on for you right now. And I actually feel like for this month, you have a beautiful opportunity to heal on a very, very deep level. I've been talking about this potential or possibility for collective healing this month in all of these videos, but for you this is actually occurring in the past. Your upbringing, your childhood, your your family, your roots, really healing on a very, very deep level. And that might seem kind of intense, and maybe it even feels a little intense, but to be honest for you, Sagittarius, I'm actually really, really excited for you. I'm definitely that friend who is always talking to people about like going into their trauma, healing these old wounds, really going into your childhood. So I think there's a lot of blessings that can come from this. And funny enough, at the bottom of the deck here, this was screaming at me, your card, the Temperance card. It's all about healing and patience and divine timing. I think there is a lot of slowing down that is actually going to be happening for you this month, and frankly, it feels welcome. You do have Mars in your opposite sign in Gemini this month, and that's making a lot of energy very scattered. So if you feel like you're kind of all over the place, or the people around you are all over the place, you might need to be the one who is sort of centered and calm, especially with this being in your 7th house. It's kind of like the people around you or the people close to you are all over the place and they want to do all these different things, and you're kind of just like, yo, chill. I don't know. I'm really curious to kind of hear from you, like, what's been going on, because again, Sagittarius, it feels very, very busy for you, especially if you are a Sag rising. That makes a lot of sense, but I would even say Sag sun or moon. So what are the messages for Sagittarius? Show me clearly, please. What is happening for you this month? We actually do have a conjunction between Mercury and Jupiter right at the beginning of the month. I want to say it's the 4th or the 5th, around that time. We'll probably be feeling it both of those days anyway. But there is this big expansion for you in mind and communication. It might be a good time to have conversations with people or to brainstorm new ideas, or you might just get the stroke of inspiration. Really capitalize on that energy. And again, maybe this is even involving that family situation or home situation with the 4th house that we were talking about before. Interestingly enough, the Page of Cups comes out, which is another card of healing and kind of healing the past, being open. Being able to speak emotionally is actually something you've really been learning about. And it's almost like, I feel like Sagittarius, you're very centered this month. Even though there's a lot of things that may be coming up for you for healing, or that have come up for you for healing, it's almost like you are the healer this month for the people around you, or maybe your family. Interesting. Blocked communication this month as well, with the Page of Swords and 2 of Swords kind of turning into the month of March. You actually might be taking some time for yourself because the energy is so chaotic. You might actually be taking some time to kind of recharge, to heal yourself, to rebalance. Could be involving someone younger than you with these 2 pages here. Or someone who is younger at heart, or maybe immature. Let's see, what else do we have for Sagittarius for the month of March? Interesting, the 7 of Coins with the King of Coins. And this is showing up as a change or a challenge. A lot of you have been focusing so hard and trying to build something for so long. I think you're kind of questioning, like, am I putting my energy in the right place? Or where do I invest my energy now that I have built something for myself? Where do I focus in this next chapter? Could be involving an earth sign here. Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. Maybe you're working with an earth sign. Honestly, doesn't really feel like a romantic situation. It feels more like work or possibly family. Maybe a family business or something like that for some of you. So there is going to be communication for you by the end of this month. Like, whatever the conversation is that you're kind of trying to prevent from happening, I think it's just going to happen, and it's actually going to make you feel a lot better. With this 9 of Cups, there could also be a blessing that is coming in, or really positive news. You're going to be getting some really great information, something that's really lighting you up by the end of this month. Like a happy announcement. I'm actually feeling like some of you might find out there is someone in your family who is pregnant. That's kind of coming in. There might be something like that, or someone's announcing a marriage, like happy news. But honestly, I also feel like for you, Sagittarius, this is your reading. There is good news coming for you as well. Something you might have been waiting on. Maybe there was sort of this delay. Maybe this was the thing that you didn't hear about, that's kind of been cut off from you. you weren't hearing anything and maybe you just assumed something wasn't going to happen, and by the end of the month there is this blessing that comes in. Let's see. Let's pull an animal card here. This looks really exciting, actually. I actually kind of want to come back to this in just a moment, but we have the raccoon that came out. Someone is wearing a mask. So there is a lot of things with communication kind of being blocked, which is interesting because Mercury retrograde was last month. We are in the post-shadow phase, however, and we're going to be in that for the first part of this month. Some of you really do need to try new things and to be innovating in new ways. I do feel like for a lot of you, especially with the full moon towards the end of the month, reaching out to new people, networking, trying new things could be very fruitful for you in the long run. And building something. Is there something you're like physically building for some of you? Because you have the Seven of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. It almost makes me feel like there is something you're physically building, like a home, or maybe you're thinking about that, or building a tiny home or something like that. I am feeling like that's coming up for some of you, which makes a lot of sense with Pisces being your fourth house, the house of home. Some of you are thinking about the future. And you could be looking at buying a home or building a home or renovating something. Because raccoon is like working with the hands a lot of the time. And I do feel like by the end of the month, you're doing something that you love. You're creating again. Maybe there is this thing with dance too, using the body to create something. What is this good news? Let's go back to this. Let's take a closer look. The King of Cups could be involving a water sign. Or just having a lot of happiness, a lot of emotional contentment here. And the Emperor. Wow. It's either something that you really, really care about or someone that you really, really care about. There is this progress that is happening at the end of the month. And it's like things are finally moving forward. It feels like you've been waiting for a long time, Sagittarius. And maybe you need to plan something out here. Maybe you're figuring out the logistics of something. But there's finally some movement, and that's really, really exciting to see. Let's pull one more animal card for you here. The Whale. Yeah, there is this really deep emotional healing, and honestly, Sagittarius, you might need to come up for air at some point. You might need to take some time for yourself. We were kind of talking about that with the Two of Swords and the Page of Swords. Some of you are going to feel like you need to take some time and space for yourself. You need to do some self-care, and I feel like that's what this Whale card is kind of encouraging you to do. It is also about diving deep, but it doesn't mean that you have to stay down there. You do have to come up for air. Again, with this King of Cups, it does make me think there's something with emotional healing or maturity. Some of you are figuring out your life purpose is supposed to be helping people. And maybe that's something you already know or you've been trying to do and you're reconnecting with it. There's something about being of service to others who are going through a hard time. I am seeing that. That could be counseling, that could be coaching or mentorship. I feel like that's sort of a theme for some of you as well. And that's really all I have for you, Sagittarius. This honestly feels really straightforward. I hope this was helpful. I'm really excited for you with all of this good news and great energy coming your way. You'll have to let me know what is going on. What have you been waiting so patiently for? It seems like you're finally making some big strides. I'm so excited for you. I think especially with Jupiter and Mercury coming together at the start of this month, things are really happening. Things are moving now. So that's super exciting. I do have my links down below if you'd like a personal reading or Reiki session with me. I also have all of the timestamps if you'd like to look at the videos for your moon, rising, or Venus sign. And I will see you in the next video, Sagittarius. Have a happy March. Hey Capricorn, this is Michael with your March 2021 general reading. I hope that this finds you well. I was saying at the intro, I know February was a really challenging month for a lot of people. I think you, Capricorn, have been really hard at work with all of this Aquarian energy, and it might feel like there's just been a lot of pushback or a lot of resistance for some of you, or really needing to redefine your finances or the way that you make money. There could have been a really big change that happened for you in the previous month. I'm really curious to see what we have in store for you, especially for Pisces season, because you'll have a lot of nice sextiles. There's going to be a lot of really great opportunities that come in for you this month, which I think are going to be really wonderful. And I feel like there's a lot of communication that's going on and a lot of conversations for you as well. My goodness, we already have so many cards on the table. We have the King of Swords. A lot of you have spent this past month thinking about your future, strategizing here, coming up with plans. Maybe emotions haven't necessarily been... I feel like there's not been a lot of emotional conversations, or if there were, there's a lot of logic in them. And being very mental. I do actually see, though, what has come out of that is the Two of Cups and the Four of Cups. Which is interesting. I feel like some of you are actually thinking about relationships in your life and who is someone I should keep in my life and who should I let go of. I'm almost seeing this as like a decision you're still trying to make at the beginning of March. And maybe this isn't specifically a romantic thing or strictly a romantic thing. This could be any sort of relationship. You could just be looking at all the different people in your life and kind of feeling out, should I keep this person in? How do I interact with this person? It's kind of like reconsidering a relationship or reconsidering your plans if this isn't talking about others. Maybe this is just you trying to figure out what feels right for you, what your heart is trying to lead you towards, and doing this very mentally, again, with this King of Swords here. You're coming in with a battle plan. So that's really interesting. This could also be involving an air sign. So a Gemini, Libra, especially Aquarius. This is actually one of your cards as well if you are born in the later part of a Capricorn season. You actually could be ruled by the King of Swords as well. So this could just be energy of you getting back in touch with yourself and trying to figure out what works for you. Ooh. Nine of Swords in reverse for the present. Some of you are really coming out of this kind of anxious feeling. You might have been overthinking things. I feel like you're actually getting a bit of clarity, or you're asking for help. Maybe this air sign is someone you are working with, or there's just this person in your life who's either acting as a mentor or someone who can just help you figure out how to do something, how to move forward in your life, or even just listen to you and helps you clear your own head. I think that is really important. Tell me more about this Nine of Swords in reverse. I'm curious. Why is the Nine of Swords in reverse here? Seven of Coins. I was telling you this. Some of you are really worried about money, or you're thinking a lot about money where you're going to be investing. I think you're trying to think of long-term plans, like where you're going to be planting your seeds, so to speak. or you're just reassessing the decisions that you've made. Some of you might actually be anxious over things that are already out of your control. It's like you've already done something, so you might as well not be worried about it. But I do feel like there is this thing with money or long-term planning that's really, really going to be important for you for March. And with all this Pisces energy, with us being in Pisces season, there is a lot that you could be learning, or a lot that you're thinking about. And I feel like with this new moon, it's a great time for you to actually manifest clarity. And really figure out who your true friends are. For some reason, that's coming through as well, that expression. That's interesting. Huh. I feel like there's relationships, again, maybe this isn't just one, where you are trying to figure out if this is someone that you should be open to, or if you should kind of look elsewhere. Try and build relationships with people who can meet you eye to eye. The Page of Coins in reverse is coming up as a challenge. Some of you feel like, this is really interesting. I feel like some of you actually feel like children this month, or you feel like you're just so far behind. Like, there's just this sort of, like, negative self-talk, like, I should be further along, or I shouldn't have done these things. I'm getting this energy of regret for some reason, and you might be kind of cycling in that. What I've been telling the other signs, though, is whatever came up for you emotionally, especially last month, it's almost like this is dust being kicked up, so you can kind of clear it out, filter that out of your life, so to speak. And I'm feeling something with guilt and shame for you specifically. And there is also this financial worry as well. But to be honest, that doesn't feel like anything that's super significant. I feel like you're going to figure that out. But some of you are just feeling like you're not good enough. You have so much to learn. You don't know how to begin something. Or maybe you should walk away from something. You don't feel like you have the skills. And that's interesting because you were coming in this month with kind of a plan. And now you're sort of doubting yourself. Let's see. So the Queen of Coins and the Nine of Cups are both coming out in reverse. Interesting, interesting. Why are those two here? This could be involving another earth sign, so it could be another Capricorn, or Taurus or Virgo. And it's like something doesn't make you happy with this person or with a situation that makes you stable. And maybe that's why you're thinking so much about the future. It's like, how much longer can I really do this? Maybe you're reconsidering something that's stable but not fulfilling. And maybe that's kind of this thing you're trying to figure out. Should I stay? Should I go? Do I stick with this? Or do I try looking for something else? Let me clarify this a little more, and we'll pull some animal cards and get a better sense of like what you should be doing, Capricorn. But I feel like there's this review. What is it that makes me happy? You do need to follow your heart with the Knight of Cups. But I think you need to do this strategically. And some of you are, like, this can be and or sort of thing. Like, there's this thing with like a work situation where some of you are feeling like you need to step away from something that's stable. For others of you, this is a relationship, and I actually want to say that this is kind of a long-standing relationship, or there's a lot of history between the two of you. It doesn't feel new. I'm actually getting the sense it goes very deep. And I almost feel like, Capricorn, you don't feel happy in this connection anymore. And it might not even be that like things are going wrong. It just doesn't have that spark anymore. And again, it could be one, the other, or both. It really depends. But those are kind of the two energies I'm reading from this group. What do we do with this? What do we do with this? The World. Okay, we do have to look at big pictures, but honestly, I do feel like there is a cycle that is coming to a close here. I feel like you do need to open yourself up to being uncomfortable, whatever that means for you, and getting out of your comfort zone. Because I feel like, I don't know why I'm getting this from the Two of Cups and the Four of Cups. It's like some of you have stuck with what is known and have been missing something that's even better. And I think you do need to be open to possibilities here. And honestly, beware of the ways that you might sabotage your own happiness. That's interesting. Let's pull an animal card here. I do feel like some of you are moving on by the end of March, or you're making the decision to, maybe leaving behind a job that doesn't work for you anymore, leaving relationships behind. I could even see moving potentially as well, getting out of your comfort zone. That's just a big theme. Starfish. Some of you are really clinging here. You're really stuck on what's comfortable. And a lot of the time with starfish, it's almost like this parasitic energy or superficial energy. It's like something might look pretty, or someone might look pretty, but there's not a lot of substance to it. And you might be surrounding yourself with people who, I'm just going to say, are a bit shallow. And because of that, you sort of lost your sparkle. You've lost your own sense of the star card, the major arcana, this divine calling, this direction. And I feel like your world is totally opening up. But it feels like the thing that you thought would make you happy didn't make you happy. But now you're kind of stuck with it, or you feel like you're stuck on it. You don't want to let it go because it would be scary to go into something unknown or let go of something stable. Yeah, there is this need to shed something with Tarantula. But you have to move kind of cautiously or carefully or tactfully, because Tarantula is an ambush predator, as some of you may know. And so it's not just about waiting for things to come to you, like Spider, which interestingly is right at the bottom of the deck. It's not about weaving a web and waiting for the blessings to come to you. You kind of have to go after something. And I think for a lot of you, you might have stayed in a situation waiting for something to change or waiting for happiness to come to you or trying to manifest something. And I actually feel like you're realizing this month that you need to actually be taking tangible steps towards something. I know with Tarantula, it does also talk about like journaling, and for some reason, I feel like that's helpful for you as well, or having some sort of like journaling or writing practice this month, especially if that is something that brings you joy or gives you kind of a creative flow. Very interesting. I'm going to pull one more card for you, and I'm going to pull a color healing card. What is the healing color for Capricorn? Show me clearly, please. What is the healing color for Capricorn? Apricot, rejoice and laugh. Yeah, I feel like you really do need to let joy in. And I think you were trying to find happiness, or you're trying to get happiness in a situation that feels a little stale, to be honest. And maybe you just need to like source that from something else. Maybe you don't need to leave it behind, but to be honest, I do feel like you need to open up to new experiences. And you might feel kind of shut down to that, a little timid. So let's read what the book says about apricot here, and you are welcome to use this color in whatever way makes sense to you. Just think of this as kind of a suggestion. Apricot lightens any heavy or burdensome energy you may be carrying to bring enormous vitality, joy, and zest into your life. Apricot also releases irrational fears and anxieties, and it is a color of creativity, fun, and intuition. Yeah, again, with this 9 of Swords in reverse, letting go of these anxieties. Meditate on the color apricot to bring more joy and lightness into your life. Today is a day for rejoicing. Remind yourself of all the golden moments you have experienced in your life. Find 5 joyful moments in this day. Wear something that is apricot or meditate on this color. Invite joy into your heart. Say, Divine Spirit, please awaken the joy, laughter, and spontaneity of my heart and soul. And I think it is about finding pleasure in the simple things, because I think some of you have been so focused, like had this tunnel vision. You've not been giving yourself time to really enjoy the sweetness that you've been creating for yourself. And those are all the messages I have for you this month, Capricorn. I hope this was helpful for you. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. Let me know if you liked this color healing card, if it feels like it's something that's going to be helpful for you this month. I do have all of my links down below if you're looking for a personal reading or Reiki session. I also have all of those timestamps if you want to look at the video for your moon, rising, or Venus sign. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care, Capricorn. I am wishing you a very happy March, and I hope to see you soon. Hey Aquarius, happy March. I hope this video finds you well. I know February was hard for a lot of people, and I think of all the signs, I'm most curious to hear how it went for you as an Aquarius, being an Aquarius season. We had a major stellium in your sign last month, and sometimes people think stelliums are like great and easy. The way I almost think of them sometimes is like all of these planets are in this one sign at the same time. It's like all of these people trying to go through a door at the same time. And it can be sort of chaotic, it can feel really crammed and uncomfortable. And there was a lot of kind of intense energy with all of this squaring against Uranus, which is your ruling planet. There was a lot last month that was working against you, and so congratulations for making it through. I do feel like this month is going to be much better for you and give you kind of a chance to heal if it was sort of a challenging month. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe some of you were able to rise to the occasion. It really is just going to depend on where you were at and kind of the rest of your chart as well. But for Aquarius, it was definitely a very, very interesting month. We are kind of in this weird era, essentially, where things are shifting. The last time we had such a major stellium in the sign of Aquarius was the early 1400s, which is when we were kind of burgeoning into the Renaissance, or Europe was burgeoning into the Renaissance. And I think we are going to be seeing a very marked shift in our lifetimes. Obviously, this past year, I think kind of was a big awakening for people. I do feel like for you, all of this energy is really causing you to step up into your purpose more and really figure out who you are. Wow. Okay, so the first card that came out for you is the Death card. So, no kidding, this month seems like it's been pretty intense for a lot of you. Or there's been a lot of change and transformation, a lot of endings. That's not a bad thing. I did actually get this card in reverse when it first came out, which tells me that some of you could be resisting a transformation process, and that usually brings more pain than if you just allowed it. There are things in your life that are probably transitioning right now. And I feel like we talked about this in your reading last month. I almost want to say something with ego death here. You kind of saw outside of yourself. And I feel like some of you really are going through this process of like self-discovery. And it could be something, I'm not saying that this is what it is, but it could be something as like significant as questioning your sexual orientation or your gender identity, something like that. Like there's something that would radically redefine the way you view yourself. And there's a lot up in the air with this Two of Pentacles here. I actually was getting something with health with that. Sorry to go back to this Death card, but it's like some of you might have received a diagnosis and that somehow changed your life. Something really changed, and I think you didn't know what to do with this information, and I think you're still trying to figure this out. You're still trying to go through this transition, and it feels like a major life transition if it's not like explicitly tied to your identity. This could be involving a move, it could be involving a career change, possibly a change in a relationship, sure, why not? But it actually feels more about your life chapter or your identity. It feels very personal. Five of Wands with the King of Pentacles here. There could be some conflict with an earth sign. So that could be Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus. It could also be conflict with home or family situations. Could also be a work situation. Things might still feel kind of scattered this month. I do want to tell you, with like work stuff or money situation, don't make a decision this month with finances. Because we do have Neptune being lit up in your second house, and that can make you make some maybe not some great choices with your money. Especially if there's this transition or this move or change in jobs. I feel like I'm supposed to tell you about that. With the Page of Swords in reverse here, I feel like there's this situation where someone got mad at someone else and they're not talking to them. It almost feels like someone was trying to get a rise out of you and they didn't do that. And they're kind of like pouting off in the corner. And it's like they're hoping you feel a certain way or do something. Respond in a way that they want you to. Yes. Three of Swords at the bottom of the deck. But I just don't feel like you're budging. Like you're still weighing this out. It could be you not wanting to let something go again. But honestly, Aquarius, if there are things that you're trying to just hold together in your life right now that are not making sense, it kind of feels like those things are going to be cleared out. Or those are things that are going to kind of fade from your life anyways. Ooh. On the flip side, you do have some good news here with the Lovers and the Ace of Wands. There is new passion. And the Five of Cups in reverse. It's not all bad, quite literally, with this card. But I feel like your emotions at the start of this month, there's something that's going on, or you're resisting your emotions and it's making it more intense for you. And if this Lovers doesn't represent a connection with somebody else, it's something that lights up your heart. Something that excites you. What is this mentality that I've been reading about? Ikigai, I think is what it is. It's like a Japanese philosophy, which is basically like waking up excited to do something. I think that's something some of you are going to be reaching for or attaining this month. Or trying to figure that out for yourself. It's weird. There's a lot of like, honestly, like some of these cards feel really intense, but at the same time it feels like melodrama at the same time, and it's almost like you can't be bothered with it. It's really, really weird. I think by the time you're like halfway through March, the things that bothered you at the beginning of the month just, it's almost like you have to force yourself to care. It's really, really interesting. And I think there's something else that is in your sights, or maybe someone else, potentially. That could be possible. But something that's just feeling really, really good. But I think some of you need to walk away or distance yourself from a connection. I actually do feel like cord cutting might be helpful for some of you as well. And when we talk about cord cutting, I think something that I wish we talked about more is that cords don't just form between two people. And when I'm talking about cords, I'm talking about these energetic attachments, where even if you have broken up with someone or you're no longer communicating with someone, you still might have some sort of energetic parasitism going on. And those don't just form out of nowhere. In fact, you can actually do body scans and figure out where you might have these sort of energetic attachments to other people. And what you often find is that they're in a place that is an area of weakness in that person's aura. And what that means in kind of like psychological terms, it's the part of ourselves that we don't own, or it's the part of ourselves that are already wounded. And so the universe sees open energy or unclaimed energy as an invitation to put energy there. And so there might be some patterns with relationships that you're healing this month, or that you're kind of finally letting go of something or someone. I have to be honest, Aquarius, I do feel like for some of you, you were really trying to get someone's attention in the past and it just didn't work, and you're finally giving up on it. And this is a general reading. This isn't going to apply to all of you, but I feel like there's quite a few of you who might be able to identify that if you're being honest with yourself, especially if you're an Aquarius Venus. I will say that. What else is going on here? Where's all of this going? King of Cups. That's always nice to see. There's a lot of emotional maturity by the end of the month. And to be honest, it's like, what this feels like, Aquarius, is like you're letting go of immaturity, and that means letting go of immature people. Or situations that you can't grow in. With the Knight of Swords here, I do feel like you want to charge in with something and speak from your heart. There might be a conversation that is very, very direct and very open and very honest. What does that lead to? I almost feel like, Aquarius, if it doesn't feel like, interesting, if it doesn't feel like you can have a certain conversation with someone because you might push them away, I kind of want to ask you, is that person really that close to you then to begin with? It's like you're afraid of losing closeness that you might not have. And I think you just need to be really honest. And to be honest with you, I'm going to be straightforward. With the Ace of Cups in reverse here, there might be some people that you're just letting go of in your life. And I think you'll kind of know if this reading is for you, to be totally honest. If there's just relationships in your life where you're kind of like unsure of what to do with them, or if you're kind of trying to figure out, do I keep this? Do I let this go? Or should I persevere? Do I try and make this work? Do I hold out a little longer? But honestly, I feel like having this conversation is still important because it gives you closure that you didn't have at the start of the month. And honestly, I know this feels sort of backhanded. It's almost like for you, the form of healing that you get this month is actually closure, which is really, really interesting. I do want to pull a color healing card here, just because this was kind of like, I'd like to just give you something to kind of give yourself a little boost here. What is the healing color for Aquarius? Interesting. So you have the color gray, which is learn to scan your body. And why this is so interesting to me is I was just talking to you earlier about looking for energy cords in your body, in your aura. I think that this is going to be kind of talking about that. So doing these body scans. I am going to read from the booklet here, but you're welcome to use this color in whatever way makes sense to you. Yeah, I think some of you are letting go of some attachments to things or to people that are no longer working for you. Gray identifies blockages in your aura or body, providing information about your mental, emotional, and physical state. Use gray to give you an alternate point of view and provide you with strength when dealing with challenging situations that you feel are hopeless. The gray ray is a magnifying glass to blocked areas in your body. Visualize or sense a gray ray. Then ask it to assist you with scanning your body for any dysfunction. Use it to bring any blockages or stuckness in your body into your awareness. Close your eyes. Place your attention inside your body. Ask the gray ray to circle any area that needs help and bring that area into your conscious awareness. Become aware if any part of your body looks or feels like it is gray. Once you've identified the blockages in your body, ask that part of your body what color would be helpful in healing it. Then bathe in it with that particular ray. Observe as the grayness leaves your body and is replaced by vibrant rays of color. Say, Divine Intelligence, please release all stuckness and limitation from my life so that I can welcome freedom, creativity, and well-being. And I feel like this sort of exercise will also kind of point out these sort of auric tears I was talking about before, or these kind of holes in your energy, these parts of you that feel like they're void. And filling that with that color, that energy, instead of trying to create a parasitic bond with somebody else. I think that this is actually like the perfect card for what we were talking about. I do hope this was helpful for you, Aquarius. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. Let me know what's going on for you in the description or in the comment section down below. What it is that you're kind of having a hard time moving on from, or what it is that you need closure on. I think it's going to be really, really important. I do have all of my links in the description box if you're looking for a personal reading or Reiki session. All of my timestamps are there as well if you'd like to look at the part of the video for your moon, rising, or Venus sign. And I will see you all next time. Take care, Aquarius. Have a happy March. Hey Pisces, this is Michael with your general reading for March 2021. I hope you are doing well. I want to wish you all a happy birthday, who have a birthday coming up in March or who already celebrated one. I'm really, really excited actually to see what we have in store for you this month, because this is going to be an incredible season for pretty much everybody, I think. But especially for you, Pisces, there really is a lot of healing that can come from this, and there's a lot of relief with all of this happening in your sign. For this Pisces season, we have a new moon, as well as Venus and Neptune conjunct, and that's all happening on the 13th. So that is going to be a very, very important day for you to mark on your calendar. It's going to be a very powerful day for you to manifest, kind of make your birthday wish to the universe if you have a birthday this month. I'm really just like, I'm so excited to see what comes up for you. I think there's been a lot that's come up in the previous month that was challenging for a lot of people. Kind of looking at the cards you have already, for the past, you do have the 5 of Cups here and the 2 of Pentacles in reverse. I do feel like for some of you, something fell away in your life, or something wasn't what it seemed, and you kind of had to let go of something. Like there was a loss of an option or the loss of an opportunity. And I feel like there was kind of this sense of you missing something. Whatever it is that you're kind of mourning coming into this month, if there's something that didn't work out in your favor, honestly, Pisces, it wasn't good for you. It wasn't a match to you. I'm seeing that with the 5 of Cups, and incidentally, the Devil is at the bottom of the deck as well. And what this really was about for you, I think it was actually healing something from the past. And I know that can kind of feel, it almost feels a little twisted or twisting to me. I'm kind of getting that image. And I know that feels sort of harsh, but I think there's a huge blessing that's going to be coming in for you this month. I just want to say that to you. And I know whatever this disappointing thing was, it might feel like you just keep being disappointed in a certain way. But I think you might have wanted things that weren't meant for you. And I remember last month's video, it really was like about self-exploration for you. Seeing these different parts of yourself. And you actually do start off the month with this King of Cups. You are very much your own authority at the beginning of this month. And there is an Ace of Coins that came out in reverse. Something didn't come through that you wanted. I think you already know what this is. I don't think this is something that you're gonna find out about. But you're okay with it now. I even think you kind of know, like, yeah, this thing wasn't really good for me. Maybe it was a connection. Could be with another water sign, Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio. And I feel like you have a lot of grace with whatever it was that didn't come to fruition in this situation. Interesting, your card is coming out as the Hanged Man here. You're gaining new perspectives on things, and that's actually a big change that's happening this month. And I think it is going to be kind of a month for you to pause and reflect. Pisces season usually is, after all, before we begin anew with the Aries season. And there is a big calling for you towards the end of the month with this Judgment card here. It's like you're answering the call for something. It's like after, I don't know what this is exactly, Pisces, and it's going to be different for all of you, but I feel like you've just been in this pattern, and it could be with relationships, it could be with work, it could be with your family, it could be any number of things. I feel like you've been in this pattern over and over again, and whatever it was that happened last month, it's like you can't repeat the pattern anymore. It's like, okay, I finally got it. I finally see that I can't keep doing this. Or I finally see very clearly what's right for me, or you will by the end of this month. The Five of Wands in reverse with the Wheel of Fate in reverse. Interesting. I feel like there's a lot of chaos and a lot of scatteredness around you. Or there was. And to be honest, Pisces, maybe that's why you need to kind of embody the Hanged Man here. You need to be the one who's stable, or still, or has composure. Because this could be your friends, your family members, your loved ones, your co-workers. It does feel like there's something from the past with the Six of Cups here that didn't quite get resolved. But honestly, I almost feel like you're cutting a clean break with the Queen of Swords here. Let me clarify this Judgment card here. What exactly is the Judgment card doing here? Show me clearly. Show me clearly, please. Ooh, interesting. The Page of Cups with the King of Coins. So there could actually be, this could be someone else coming into your life, new energy, especially an earth sign, Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. But to be honest, Pisces, what this really feels more like to me is that you are starting to create something stable. out of your dreams. And I think Neptune with Venus conjunct your new moon on the 13th is going to be a great time to start that, or to really manifest success with that. Especially with Neptune and Venus. It's so interesting that those two are coming together. Some of you may have heard that Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. And they're both very creative and artistic, and they can be very romantic, but Neptune is very otherworldly. And so Neptune can kind of make things appear not as they are. Interesting. And the Four of Cups. The universe has been trying to hand you a blessing for quite some time. And I think that's almost what this Wheel of Fortune earlier in reverse was telling me. There was this blessing the universe was trying to give you, but you weren't taking it. Because you were too distracted by other things, or you thought you were supposed to put your attention in something else or someone else. I feel like you're finally seeing an opportunity here, and it might not even feel like an opportunity at first. It might almost be more like a silver lining. But honestly, Pisces, this feels like a huge ascension for you this month, and really stepping into yourself, into your destiny, into your purpose. Let's pull an animal card here for you. What is the animal wisdom for Pisces? That came out quickly. The lizard card. What else do we have? So lizard kind of reminds me of the Hanged Man in this situation, because it's kind of taking an observer awareness, sort of detaching from the story and seeing things as they really are. Kind of reminds me of this Queen of Swords as well, having this sort of detached look. But lizard does have a lot of magic to it. It is actually a very sensitive creature, even though it's a cold-blooded animal, and a lot of people kind of think of them as almost dark, the reptilian sort of energy. They are very attuned, and sometimes lizards will like scurry off when they feel threatened, and you might need to feel like you need to take shelter or connect to nature. That could be really important for you this month. The raccoon. Ooh, interesting. So what I'm seeing with these two, you are shedding a skin with lizard, and you're dropping a mask with raccoon. Some of you need to be working with your hands, maybe building something or creating something. But with this raccoon energy, it's like you've tried living someone else's life, thinking that's the life you should live. And that kind of feels similar to last month's reading as well for February. That might be helpful for some of you to look at. You were kind of putting on these different, or exploring these different parts of yourself. And I think you're finally figuring out what you're not. And in doing so, it's like you're figuring out what you want to build. Let me pull one more card here. I'm noticing the golden egg at the bottom of the deck, the heart chakra. Some of you really do need to connect to your own heart. I will say that. because there's something that is no longer in your life, or someone who's no longer in your life who just wasn't good for you. And yet I feel like it gave you something, and I wonder what that was. And that's kind of just my question for you. What was it that you derived from this old connection or situation? And really ask yourself that. Really be curious about that. What is the healing color for Pisces? Show me clearly, please. Tangerine. Be spontaneous and have fun. And this is the healing color for you. You're welcome to use this in whatever way makes sense to you. But I do feel like you kind of need to be more spontaneous and have more openness in general. I feel like some of you, it's like harder for you to move on and let things go because you don't allow yourself to be more open, or you haven't been able to be more open. It's kind of been a strange year, hasn't it? Let's see what this says. Tangerine is a color of vibrancy, creativity, zest for life, and vitality. It has the capacity to awaken your sexual and creative energies and symbolizes warmth, richness, courage, and spontaneity. Inner knowing, action, confidence, and determination are the properties of Tangerine. Activate Tangerine energy and unleash your wild self. Experiment with Tangerine rays to awaken your creative juices. What have you always wanted to do and never had the courage to do? Before doubt set in, let go of control and give yourself permission to do something wild and spontaneous. Allow your inner child to come out and play. Rub your hands together for a minute, then place them slightly apart. Visualize Tangerine rays shining out through your hands as you place them above your solar plexus, heart, and head for a minute each, allowing the Tangerine ray to activate your fun, spontaneous, and adventurous self. Start living an extraordinary life today. Say, infinite intelligence now awakens my creative, spontaneous, adventurous self. I am ready to allow fun and laughter into my life. So what's kind of interesting, I almost think this is sort of the answer to the question I was asking you before. What did you derive out of this situation or this connection with this person? It was this spontaneity, this fun, and it almost makes me think of kind of this concept where people think that they need to have a partner before they're able to do things that they want to do, like travel or, you know, take classes or go on hikes. They kind of idealize a relationship in that way, and they prevent themselves from just doing the things that they want to do. I'm kind of wondering, Pisces, if that's something that you might have been doing, and kind of just leaving that open for you to kind of explore. This is your season, after all, and it's really about you building a relationship with yourself and doing the things that you want to do. So don't wait for someone else to come in your life to kind of do those things for you or do those things with you. I would start doing this now and really figure out what it is that brings you this joy and excitement. And I do feel like there is something with creativity. I also feel like dance as well, or something with body work, is going to be really big for a lot of you. If it's not dance, it could be something like yoga. I'm feeling that for some reason as well, and I think that's actually Neptune in your first house, kind of affecting the way that you express yourself. Anyways, that is all I have for you, Pisces. I do hope that this was helpful. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. All of my links are in the description box down below if you'd like a personal reading or Reiki session with me. All the timestamps are there as well if you want to take a look at your moon, rising, or Venus sign. And I will see you all next time. Take care, Pisces. Happy birthday. I will see you in the future. Take care.